This is your feel-good breakfast show. It's Expresso on S3, and it's not any Tuesday. It is also the type of Tuesday where it means we delve into things health and relationship wellness. Good morning, Wasey. I just delved straight into that.
I was about to say relationship wellness, like, shouldn't you greet first? My word. It's fine, though. I'm okay. It's fine. You can greet now. I'm ready for it. You can say.
Morning, Wasey.
Good morning, Zoe. I'm so good. I'm so good today. I'm really happy, and I'm grateful to be here with you because we can share those amazing tidbits with regard to health, and we are focusing on vulnerability in both the workplace and at home, in your relationship, especially if your partners are greeting you. And how do you balance the dynamic of being vulnerable with those around you? How do you navigate the push and pull of a professional relationship with your colleagues, and then, of course, we've got a panel as well, right?
We're going to have experts here to just diffuse the situation we've got building here on your screens right now. Then we're also going to bring in a couple to in fact, we're going to bring their relationship dynamic to life. How do you deal with a partner who takes advantage of your soft side? Or even your love language? All these questions, we have so many of them. Like, I wanted to dive just straight into it, but don't worry. We have 3 hours together to unpack it all. Am I forgiven yet?
Yes, you're forgiven. Okay. It's fine. No, we have to greet this person because, I mean, he's got a very peachy vibe to him. Something about him today. So let's do this for relationship's sake. Hello, Graham.
Morning.
I don't even know where I fit in. I don't even know where I fit into this relationship, guys. First of all, thank you for being so vulnerable. Carl, opening up there for an apology. I really do appreciate that. Zoe, just go lightly. Tread softly. It's upon his dreams, okay? We are opening up a window into our crazy world, yes, because we have the most amazing work dynamic, but we have to be very emotionally invested, and we often have to be very vulnerable. To go to the places that we need to be vulnerable. So how much are you able to scale that into your life? How much of your personal life do you think is acceptable to share with your colleagues? How much do you need to? How much do they need to know? How little do they need to know? What makes you comfortable? What makes you really, really uncomfortable? Let us know. Today is the day to have this chat, and this is a safe place. 063-408-8863. Anything that you'd like to add to the conversation today, we'd love to hear from you. You are the expert panel today, but we will have a few pros in here to guide us along the way. So let's start on that notion, get some talking points under the belt, and I'll get into those news headlines, sporting headlines rather, and then we'll get you prepped for the weather ahead.
Let's go into those news headlines for you, and nationally. Let's start there. The Department of Agriculture says the outbreak of avian flu has posed serious challenges and impacted the supply of eggs in some regions of the country. The Minister of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development, Toko Didiza, met with retailers yesterday to discuss the impact of avian flu in South Africa. During yesterday's meeting, they were briefed on containment measures that have been taken to the limit to limit the spread of the disease, as well as possible solutions to manage such outbreaks in the short and medium term, including vaccination. Now on to Gauteng's Department of Transport and Roads. They say everything is ready for the implementation of the province's new license plates. The department says the new license plate system will make it more difficult for criminals to forge license plates. The MEC, Kedebone Diale Tiabela, or Tlabela I should say, says the number plates will be introduced later this month as part of Transport Month, which is now in October. She says so-called smart license centers will also be open in townships this month to offer economic opportunities to entrepreneurs as well. Now, on to international headlines. The new head of the UN's migration agency will visit Africa on a first official trip from Sunday to highlight the scale of migration happening around the continent. Amy Pope, the first woman elected to lead the International Organization for Migration, will then head to Brussels in Belgium as the 27-member EU bloc deals with the recent influx of migrant arrivals in Italy. Pope, an American, will visit the headquarters of the African Union in Addis Ababa before meeting Ethiopian officials and then travel to Kenya and Djibouti. Now, Ukraine's first underground school will be built in northeastern city of Kharkiv. Such a shelter will allow thousands of children to continue their in-person education safely, even during missile threats, Kharkiv's mayor said. Rocket attacks hit the Kharkiv region again yesterday, a regular occurrence, and Ukraine says some 360 educational facilities have been destroyed and over 3,000 damaged since the start of Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022. UN Children's Agency UNICEF says only a third of Ukraine's school children currently study in person amid continuing deadly Russian missile and drone attacks and shelling. Now, whoever thought that our story last month of the Brit taking his pet turkey everywhere, even to a pub, could be bettered? Well, an Australian, Igor Fiuza, has done so. He regularly went surfing with his pet python named Shiva at Rainbow Beach on the Gold Coast. But alas, last week he was slapped with a pretty steep fine by Australian wildlife. Not for surfing, but for taking Shiva out in public. Now, Fiuza holds the correct permit Australia requires owners of pythons such as Shiva to have, but he isn't allowed to take her from his licensed premises without a special permit. He was fined the equivalent of some 9,000 Rand on the spot, and of course quite a pricey surfing toll. But of course a python is something that you don't trifle with. You take it everywhere. You have to. That is it for the news. Let's take a look at this sport with Graham.
Another giant of the game is headed back into the game. It is a crazy, crazy World Cup. Let's start with that. Lucanio part of Victoria's 2019 Rugby World Cup Springboks team, has now rejoined the 2023 squad as an injury replacement for Makazole Mapimpi, who of course suffered that fractured cheekbone in Sunday's 49-18 victory over Tonga. So Mapimpi sadly facing a 4 to 6 week recovery period. And who recently recovered from a knee injury, will link up with the squad in Toulon later this week. The 29-year-old missed squad selection earlier due to his prior injury, and is now the second injury replacement in the 33-man squad following Andre Pollard's call-up for Malcolm Marx with Pollard's successful return against Tonga. Now we turn to cricket, and of course another matter of an impending World Cup. The Proteas had a comprehensive practice session during their second and final warm-up match up against New Zealand yesterday. The 9 bowlers had the opportunity to showcase their skills, and the team also witnessed some impressive performances from Quinton de Kock. He took a few knocks and he gave quite a knock, 84 not out there. Rassie van der Dussen also looked very devastating, 51. Heinrich Klaassen, 39, all guiding them to a total of 211 for 4 before rain halted play. Then unfortunately the first scheduled practice game against Afghanistan was also rained out on Saturday, making yesterday's match at the Greenfield Stadium their sole preparation, plus their opening game against Sri Lanka in Delhi this coming Saturday. But they did look good. They did look, admittedly, in their full straps. Now we turn to footballing news, and we expected some spice after this one. Liverpool has reportedly requested access to audio recordings of communication between match officials during their recent 2-1 defeat at the hands of Tottenham. So the appeal stems from the officials' failure to correct an incorrect decision that disallowed a goal by Luis Diaz. The incident occurred in the 34th minute when Diaz was wrongly flagged as offsides. Looked close. Closer inspection reveals that in fact it was wrong. Despite the use of VAR, the decision was not overturned. The PGMOL body overseeing referees in the area acknowledged a significant error. So Liverpool responded by expressing concerns about sporting integrity and pledged to explore various options to address the issue. Be an interesting one to watch to see how that actually could unfold. Now we turn to tennis, and world number 3, Daniil Medvedev, advanced to the China Open men's semi-finals in Beijing, overcoming France's Hugo Humbert 6-3, 3-6, or 6-4 rather, 3-6 and 6-1. That first set witnessed 5 breaks of serve, but Medvedev clinched it with an ace. While errors crept in during the second set, Medvedev rounded off in the third, securing that victory. Next for him will be Alexander Zverev at 10:30 a.m. later today. But that's where we leave our sporting headlines for now. We'll touch on them again in about an hour or so. I'm sure some weather warnings and news to take in right now. Carl's got the latest. Let's get that from him.
Thanks a lot, G. Let's take a look at that weather, shall we? The SA Weather Service has issued no severe weather warnings for today. However, extremely high fire danger conditions are expected over the central and eastern parts of the Northern Cape, the western parts of the Northwest, and the Mokare local municipality of the Free State, as well as the Walter Sisulu, Nqumba Yatemba, and Enoch Mgijima local municipalities of the Eastern Cape. Fires in several parts of the country have already caused huge damage to pastures and planted crops in the past few months. Large-scale animal and wildlife losses have also occurred. Now let's take a look at your temperatures, give you an idea of what to wear today in your Feel Good Breakfast Show and everywhere else. And of course, let's take a quick peek, shall we? Now, let's go Polokwane, 11 to 29 today, of course. And then Bombela, 15 to 28. Pretoria, 16 to 29. Joburg, 14 up to 28 degrees today. Let's move on, shall we, to the other temperatures throughout the week. Now, King 15 to 31, Klerksdorp 15 to 32, Kimberley 70 to 35, and Bloemfontein 11 to 32 degrees Celsius. And just moving along to Richards Bay, it looks like 18 to 30 today. Pietermaritzburg 14 to 35. Durban 19 up to 29. And Mthatha 12 to 36 degrees Celsius. East London and Monte, good morning to you. Let's jump on over. 16 to 26. Cradock 10 to 35. Gqeberha 15 to 23. And then George 12 to 20. And wrapping things up in the south, let's go there, shall we? Cape Town 13 to 22. Worcester 11 to 29. Sutherland 9 to 28. And Uppington 20 up to 38 degrees Celsius. And that's for your temperatures and, of course, sunrise views. Let's take a look at those. We love seeing them in your Feel Good Breakfast show, so please send yours. Now, Charmaine from Steenberg in Cape Town captured this mesmerizing image of bright pink streaks lighting up the cloudy sky, something that should be printed immediately, and made a T-shirt of Louise Cherry from Alberton shared her magnificent view of this absolutely beautiful stuff. I mean, just look at that. There's even a plane. That's a bit of a flex, Louise, honestly. I think that you got that deliberately, waited outside to send that through to us. I appreciate that. And then Fatah Khan sent in her morning view from Richards Bay. And look at that. That just looks like a placid view of boats that we want to be on for that sort of peace and meditation, for a certain leave break that your HR department needs to approve for the end of the year. And then Nicholas in Hartenbos shared a beautiful, captivating view of the area. Now, a lot of sky there, but I think where there's negative space, there's a chance to fill it with positivity on your particular day. Now, naturally, this is always a competition, so if you have a sunrise that looks better than those, send it my way, please. 063-408-8863. We'd love to feature you on your Feel Good Breakfast show. That's it for your weather, as well as your temperatures and sunrise views. I look forward to yours, but let's look forward to making sure that Zoe has got something amazing to wear in your Feel Good Breakfast show today.
Well, thank you, Wasty. Just listening to those temperatures, I think it's safe to say you can pack away the cardigans and the sweaters, because it's time to update your wardrobes with playful summer staples from Woolies' joyful nature range. Perfect for afternoons outside. And since today is Tuesday, I need you to help me choose between two summer outfits for today's show. So option one is this bishop frill blouse, styled with high-rise jeans, perfect for catching those sunny rays on a day out. That's option one. Then option two is this beautiful floral mesh top, styled with a denim skirt for a chic touch of a summer outfit. So this is option one, that is option two, and of course we want to style these with a beautiful pair of ankle tie wedges. So we've got some cute little shoes here available too. So which outfit is it going to be? The choice is completely yours. You can head on over to Expresso's social media pages and vote for your favorite look. Is it going to be one, or is it going to be number two? And include that hashtag styled by Woolies.
Ladies, I'm the boss. My time to shine, no time to get lost. Show them how I show them how I.
All right, we're going to take the quickest of breaks. When we return, we're going to get some health advice. We are talking prostate cancer, and we've got an expert panel joining us throughout the show today to hone in on that. If you've got any questions, please let us know on any of our social media platforms. We'd love you to also spread the word. And then Dale is stepping in to help us out with a little bit of a workout. We're going to keep it quite dynamic and simple, using just a chair, things that you can do at home to really get the blood rate up and pumping and get that body moving. We'll start moving after this. We'll see you now.
Oh, you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to what is officially a Health Tuesday on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Thank you so much for rejoining the conversation. This morning, we are focusing on prostate cancer. It affects millions of men around the world. Those 6 degrees become 3 degrees, I think, when it comes to prostate cancer. And joining us this morning is urologist Dr. Samkele Salukuzana, who is here to break down the stigma around getting tested. It's so easy, and to help us better understand that prevention is, and testing is better than cure. Doc, thank you so much for being here. Do you feel like you need to suck in a deep breath of air when you start this conversation, or do you feel quite buoyed by the fact that we're sitting here talking about this? This is quite a big thing. So many men need to hear this, but so few men are acting on it. How do you feel going into this conversation?
Yeah, I'm actually quite excited talking about this. Essentially talk about this every day. You know, I do talks in the communities, and I talk about this on a daily basis. That's my work.
And you do it well, thank you.
Yes, and that's why we brought you on, because we know we do need assistance, because I think that sometimes we, as men, we struggle to talk about these things amongst each other, actually. We wait for a doctor, we wait for a professional, but we don't talk to each other about it. And I think that's why we are here today. So when it comes to prostate cancer, let's start there. You know, what is prostate cancer? Take us through layman's terms, what is happening?
Thanks a lot for the question. Prostate cancer basically is getting cancer in the male, gland, which basically sits between the bladder and the urethra. So it's basically essentially an abnormal growth of cells and dysregulation by the body for different reasons, which I'll allude to a bit later. It's essentially just abnormal growth of cells in the prostate gland.
This speaks to a very wide pool that we are drawing from here. Who is most at risk of prostate cancer? I suppose age flashes in my head. I see the big number 40 in bright lights there. But is age the only pre-indicator, or who's most at risk?
All right, thanks for the question. So patients that are at risk, or individuals at risk of getting prostate cancer is obviously elderly males. We're talking about age. From the age of 40 and going beyond.
You're not elderly at 40, though, just so you know.
No.
You're still okay.
I heard elderly now. I got worried. I'm heading that way. Oops.
Yeah. So your risk increases over the age of 40.
Okay.
And the other factors that you know of is basically having first-degree relatives who've had prostate cancer. If you've had your father at a younger age, and if you've got a sister or a mother who's had breast cancer, you're at increased risk. The biggest thing we're talking about is race. Black men are at increased risk of getting prostate cancer as opposed to non-black males. And they've got about a 60% chance of getting prostate cancer, and twice as likely to die from prostate cancer as opposed to their white counterparts.
That is incredible. That is terrifying.
It is. And now let's talk about, testing and actually getting a screening early. I think that for us, when we have conversation about prostate cancer testing, we always have this thing in our head about the doctor putting on the glove and saying, like, let's go to the basement. And let's talk about it. I think we need to. So the testing, number one, why is it so important? And number two, should we really be afraid of testing?
Yeah, no, thanks a lot for the question again. Screening for prostate cancer is a very important thing, and like you said, mentioning testing. And no one should be afraid of testing for prostate cancer. And you're quite right, most men are afraid of getting a finger through their back.
Yes.
But, the guidelines from the Prostate Cancer Foundation advocate, in men who are asymptomatic to rather have a PSA test, which is a very simple test. Get just blood drawn, and, the day after you could get results. Obviously, in patients who are also symptomatic, who've got low urinary tract symptoms, in the form of difficulties in passing urine or irritative symptoms, or any other things like seeing blood in urine, at any age, if you see such things, you should get tested.
For sure.
But over the age of 40, the simplest thing we do is just a PSA test. We don't really always need to do a rectal examination in asymptomatic men, which is what usually scares men away.
Yeah, and even if that was the case, just go and do it, because we know that an early detection makes a massive difference. Why? Why is it so important to get the test done, to get the early detection, so you can treat this before it becomes more than that? Why is this so important?
Yeah, so it's very important because, there's great evidence to suggest that, if you detect prostate cancer early, you are likely to survive and live longer from being treated at an early stage versus someone who presents at a later stage, which is something we still see. And that's why the Prostate Cancer Foundation is pushing the notion forward of ensuring that patients get screened and tested early. Because if you've got localized prostate cancer diagnosed early, you are going to have a 98%
You can manage that,
Manage it quite easily, and 98% survival rate over 5 years. You know, over 98% of men will be alive after 5 years if they, they're treated early, as opposed to someone who's diagnosed late, who has about 30% survival at 5 years.
Wow.
It's such an important thing because there's lots of options in treating in localized prostate cancer.
And underpinning the work that you do every day. Once again, thank you so much for being that person. Yeah.
Naturally, with cancers, it can also be hereditary. So beyond the fact that there would be symptoms, they just say if there's blood in your urine, discomfort, while passing urine, and a bunch of different other symptoms, if it's in your family, would you recommend that men go for this PSA test? And sort of give me an age. I mean, if you know that your dad had prostate cancer, or, what do we do? Do we say, hey, I'm 30 years old, I am a bit nervous, I need to go and get tested as soon as possible? Like, what do you recommend in that situation?
Yeah, I think just to stress again, the other one important thing is that prostate cancer localized, which is it is often asymptomatic. So you can't wait for symptoms. You just need to bring that out. And to answer your question, as mentioned earlier, in patients who are at risk, like I said, family member, not only your father, or your brother having prostate cancer, but also if you've got a family of anyone who's got breast cancer. So we recommend screening at the age of 40. Anything below that, you're unlikely to get a good yield from screening much earlier. We do see patients at 30 wanting to get tested, and you're unlikely to get much from that from the age of 40 and upwards. And obviously, in the white counterparts, you talk about 45, in non-blacks, because the risk is a bit lower than the black Africans.
Would love to delve a little deeper into why that is from a medical and from a socio-economic standpoint, what the African story looks like, because I think it's slightly different here. The one bottom line is men need to get tested. If you're 40 years old, you got to go get tested. That's the bottom line. And I think if we can just preach that from the pulpits, we can do this. But we're going to continue this discussion. A lot of questions. And if you have any more yourself, please drop us them on our social media platforms right now. Let's spread this conversation as wide as we can.
Thank you, gentlemen. Well, listen, introducing the innovative and accessible world of chair workouts. We're about to do that for you. And whether you're looking to, either boost your fitness level, enhance your mobility, or simply try a new approach to working out, we have fitness instructor Dale Hendricks here to guide us through a series of seated and standing exercises designed to target different muscle groups. And all we're going to ask you right now is to find your chair and join us for this workout. Dale, it's great to have you here.
Thank you for having me. It's exciting to be here. So I hope everyone's ready for the chair workout.
I'm ready for the chair workout, and I mean, this is something that we haven't really done much of. So I love doing new things to keep it exciting. So what would you recommend we start off with?
Just to warm up, we're going to take our position on the seat, and we're just going to start with some seated jacks, which is good for a warm-up activity. So I'm just going to ask everyone to sit on the edge of the seat, and we're just going to go with a open close. So it's basically just an adjustment to the normal jumping jack, and we're going to open the arms, open the legs, tap those toes on the side. We're going to tighten up the core.
It looks easy, but it's the core is involved.
Yeah, it's a good exercise for the core. Nice full body, just to get the blood going, get the heart rate up. It's always a good way to start.
And a great way to warm up.
And a great way to warm up. So normally we'll do like about 30 seconds of this, and then we'll move on to the first exercise, which we're gonna do. It's gonna be the knee to elbow crunch, which we're gonna still stay in the same position. We're gonna put our hands on our ears, and we're just gonna crunch those knees, bring it up. So this one focuses on the core.
These are great exercises to focus on the core.
It's lovely, especially if you have limited mobility. So this workout is accessible to everyone. No people come from long-term injuries.
And also, sometimes you just want to adjust or modify a workout that removes the impact. So something as doing your seated jumping jacks, it got the core activated and it didn't have any impact on the joints.
Exactly. So if you're coming from a long-term ankle injury or you're recovering, the seated workout is perfect for you. So we're going to move along. Our next exercise, we're going to go with the punches. And we're just going to tap on the side. There we go.
I feel like I need to be in sync with you.
Looking good. Let's go. There we go. Come on.
And I can imagine if this is the type of workout where someone wants to add a little bit of resistance and they don't have weights at home,
Yep.
can they use water bottles?
Perfect. We can use a water bottle as an alternative. It's lovely for the upper body. This exercise, we tighten up the arms, we extend it all the way out, okay? Tap the toes on the side, okay? So it's lovely for the core as well.
Here we go.
You can feel that core working.
I'm feeling that core. It
As
is
you're twisting.
burning.
Cool, so we're going for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Normally when we change, we go for active rest, and then we just walk it out, okay? Our next one, we're gonna do some legs. We're gonna go for the quad, for the squat. So we're gonna stand up. Okay, we're just gonna tap the chair, okay? Chest out, back straight. Okay, breathing in down. Exhale up.
A little booty tap on the
Here we
chair.
go. Perfect for the glutes, for the quads, hamstrings. Starting to feel those legs burning.
It is burning. So you said normally you would do these exercises for about 30 seconds?
That's correct. 30 seconds. We normally go for about 3 sets. And it's perfect for, family time at home. You can do it in the comfort of your office. No, you just need a chair, basically.
You just need a chair. So even if you're traveling and you feel like, oh, my hotel doesn't have has a gym, there are no excuses.
That's it. 5, 3, 2, and 1. So we're sitting down, we're going for active rest again. We're marching it out, okay? Next one we're gonna go for, we're gonna do some toe taps. So it's 1 by 1 knee lifts. Once again, focusing on that core. Do a little twist to it. So as we go, as we lift those knees, slightly twist to the side. And you can feel that lower core, feel that obliques working.
Sure.
It's
You
lovely.
actually do become out of breath here.
Respect your chairs at home, people. Beautiful. So like I said, it's perfect if you want to do a low impact on the joints.
This is a low high impact workout.
Low high impact, yes.
A low heart rating workout. I don't know how to describe this.
5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're marching it out again. So
There's
this
no
is what we
rest.
call active rest, okay? So we're not sitting still, we keep going. Okay, the next one, we're gonna work the upper body again. So this is what I call, we're opening the cupboard and we're closing it again, okay? So we're gonna open the legs, come to the front, arms up. So we're just gonna open the cupboard, squeeze it back, and close the cupboard again, okay? Here we go.
Oh, Dale, while we are doing this final exercise, for people that want to get in touch with you, where can they get a hold of you?
You can find me on the social media, Instagram, TDJ Training. You can go to Facebook, TDJ Training, and X at TDJ Training. We're also based in Heathfield at the Ashford Athletic Fit Club, clubhouse. So that's where we do our weekly fit club. So you can get us there as well.
Amazing. Well, Dale, thank you so much for joining us today and showing us these awesome workouts that you can do from the comfort of your own chair.
Thank you for having me.
There we
Well
go.
done.
There we go.
Lovely stuff. Thank
What
you,
a
guys.
workout. And you thought you couldn't dance on a chair? There's proof right there. Also, now you know who the chairman of Expresso is. It's Dale. Definitely. However, there's a reason to stay in yours today because we're delving back into our conversation with our good doctor around prostate cancer. And of course, we've got a game for you around the Rugby World Cup. It is a match to play a game, and we want you to play along. So stick with us. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso, here on S3.
Oh, you can make my day. Do it like this. Get it, move it, own it. Do it like this.
Bespoke.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso at S3, and we continue our conversation on bringing awareness about prostate cancer. And earlier, urologist Dr. Sam spoke about the importance of regular screenings from a certain age and diagnosis. We are now going to discuss forms of treatment and encouraging research and initiatives as well as developments within this particular field. So let's continue. Dr. Sam, we just changed your name today. Is that okay, Dr. Sam? Does it work? Okay, fantastic.
Because you're our doc now. You know, we claim you, eh? We claim you as our own. This is amazing to me that we are having such a simple conversation. This feels like such a simple dynamic that is so difficult for us to do normally. Great, we've got the setting for it now. We've got the focus. Why are men so resistant? You've chosen to make this pretty much your life path, calling to drive this down our silly male brains. Why is it so difficult for men to have this conversation, do you think?
Yeah, I think, you know, generally men often don't seek for healthcare.
In general, yeah.
Yes, in general. I mean, there are other reasons for that, you know, depending on where you come from.
Yeah.
You know, these traditional, other social reasons.
Yeah.
And obviously, and with prostate cancer, the sensitivity of, you know, the male reproductive organs and one getting a rectal examination. So men are often quite resistant to do that, and, you know, because of the fear of that, and again, some social and cultural backgrounds, you know, in the African populations.
Yep, and when it literally could be life-saving. It could be the relationship with your wife, with your children, represented in that one action, you know?
So now let's look at treatments for prostate cancer. You know, we've gone into our screening. The doctor comes back, the results are positive, we have prostate cancer. That feeling, of course, very, very tough on anybody getting that diagnosis. However, there are treatments available. So can you discuss some of the treatments? And then more importantly, the type of mind space that we should be in the event that we do have that diagnosis?
Yeah, no, thanks for that. So, you know, prostate cancer is mentioned, you know, you can get localized, early diagnosed prostate cancer and advanced, which is called metastatic, or when cancer spread beyond that. So when you're talking of a localized cancer, which is diagnosed early, there's several forms of treatment. You know, amongst the other treatment options, we have active surveillance or active monitoring, where you diagnose a prostate cancer, but we don't actually need to treat you now. We can actually observe you by doing regular PSAs, and we can decide when to actually start treating you. Then the other options then would include surgical removal of the prostate, which could be done in any form, could be done as an open procedure, or it could be done robotically these days. And the other forms then would include radiation in the form of external beam radiation, or it could be in the form of brachytherapy. I'm sure people have heard of like seeds instilled into your prostate. And the other form is watchful waiting, you know, an elderly guy who's got prostate cancer, but we're thinking they are unlikely to die from their cancer, they're likely to die from other causes. We don't actively treat those patients, you know. Once they start getting symptoms of advanced disease, then we start treating them. And in terms of advanced prostate cancer, metastatic, where cancer has gone beyond the gland, so we're dealing more with a palliative situation, but there's several drugs that we can use to, you know, prolong life even in that situation. And often counsel patients, like, even if you've got metastatic prostate cancer, you can still live long with the options we have. You know, the most important one is hormonal therapy, where we remove testosterone, the hormone, from the body to try and prevent the progression or slow down the progression of cancer, which could be done surgically or medically.
Does the testosterone drive it? Because it seems like quite an interesting dynamic where you've got older men whose testosterone levels are waning. How then does that inform the growth of the cancer?
Yeah, so that's a very interesting and very controversial topic. It has been in our field that, you know, there's been thoughts and beliefs, like you're saying, that testosterone does drive you to get prostate cancer, but younger men who've got high testosterone don't have cancer, but older men who basically have low testosterone, you know,
are at higher prevalence.
You know? So, look, there's been lots of studies done, you know, earlier looking at doing androgen deprivation therapy in the form of removing testosterone, and there's been very good evidence suggests that it does prevent the growth, and, you know, we're way beyond that. We're getting other drugs now that are more advanced in treating patients, you know, hormonally. And the other thing with testosterone is that the other reason why they get prostate cancer when they're older, when your testosterone goes down, there's dysregulation in the growth of cells, and that's why the guys actually get cancer.
That's
where
the problem side door is open.
Yes, but you know for sure that there's great evidence that if you do hormonal therapy, patients live longer.
Okay, wow.
This is fascinating. fascinating. And regular screening has been quite a narrative between, you know, us in this conversation. So are there alternative tests? I know you said PSA, rectal exam. Are there any other tests for regular screening?
Yeah, look, that's a very interesting question and also quite controversial, and I don't think it has reached the guidelines yet.
Okay.
So, you know, there's other forms where one can talk of doing imaging in the form of an MRI.
Yeah.
You know, it's a quite a costly exercise, about 12,000 rand to do an MRI. And again, the evidence is not yet there to suggest that we can screen men with an MRI.
That's
You know, it's a
definitive,
very, so PSA is a mainstay, you know, and rectal examination, you know, depending.
What I love about this, though, it feels like this is a hotbed of activity. It feels like there's a lot of focus, a lot of mental, collective focus on this challenge, a lot of positive numbers coming out now. I think the data can be terrifying sometimes. I know you get to see some pretty scary numbers. And for us, what it's telling me is that we know more, that we've got more data to work off, which is amazing. We now need more men to get tested. If you're 40 years old, go and do it. There are ways that you can get tested that aren't as invasive as a rectal exam now. The PSA, very different approach. If you're over 40, you have a responsibility to yourself, to your family, to get yourself tested. I'm going to do it.
Thank you, gentlemen. Well, we are putting the attention, continue to do that, on our dedicated healthcare professionals who work behind the scenes to keep us happy and healthy. The unsung heroes of healthcare, those are our pharmacists. Now, this is proudly brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, the sponsors of Brave. So let's take a look at this week's Pharmacy of the Week. It is the local choice pharmacy, Moms Kanonko.
Our pharmacies are on the front line of healthcare. This is Pharmacy of the Week.
People like to come into a pharmacy and you know them by name and you know what medication they took, and if they were here last week, they want you to recognize that. So that is quite important also for us. I've got lovely staff here. I think we've got a pharmacy culture that people prefer to come to the pharmacy first, and they know they will get the right medication. Especially if it is a community pharmacy, they love to come to community pharmacies because then they can actually stand and speak to the pharmacist and relay their problems, and they know they will get help. Brave is to come pitch up every morning with a big smile on your face, even though you don't feel like it. But you know, the people that come in here need help and they need a smile for their days.
Pharmacy of the Week, proudly brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave. Inspiring communities, one pharmacy at a time.
We've been long in the game, healing South Africa one allergy at a time. All the sneezing, runny nose, itching of nose and throat, we've left no stone unturned. Until finally, South Africa recognized us. You've given us the courage to continue to do what we do best. Live, work, play, sleep allergy-free with Allergex Non-Drowsy. Ask your pharmacist for the full allergy range. Brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave.
To our incredible pharmacists, we just want to say thank you for making a difference in your communities. We certainly appreciate you. Well, coming up on your Feel Good Breakfast show, we're taking a quick break. When we return, we're going to play a little bit of a game, have some fun with the Rugby World Cup currently underway. And then we're going to put the spotlight on one of our very own in green and gold, Damian Dialindi. That and a whole lot more still on its way.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Hey, welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on S3. Well, we promised you fun and games, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing now. We've been keeping you updated with everything rugby, and that's thanks to the proud sponsors of the 2023 Rugby World Cup, Total Energies. Now, today, we are playing a game we like to call Match That Rugby Player. I love how we name these games.
Okay, we like to call it like we've played this every week.
This is the first time we're playing this game, but gentlemen, this is how it works.
Okay.
An image of a rugby player will be displayed on the screen, and then you only have 10 seconds to guess the country that the player represents. You've got those whiteboards in your hand, so write it down. The contestant with the most correct answers after 4 rounds will be crowned and dubbed our winner. Gentlemen, are you ready?
No. Oh, I don't know.
You're not
I don't
ready.
know. With great trepidation we approach this. No,
I think this is an unfair game because Graham should have hosted this because, Wasty, how's your rugby knowledge beyond South African players?
Pretty slick, I think. Eh?
I mean, like,
He's
I
more
love
of a
the World
football
Cup,
guy.
but I haven't dived into sport as I used to back in the day.
I have a feeling this one's going to keep us honest, dude. I think you'll be okay.
Okay, let's
I
find
think
out.
you'll be okay. Let's do
So
it.
we're going to give you an image and a bit of a hint. So round 1, here we go. Our very first player is a scrum half and is known for his fancy offloads and
That's
pinpoint
Mauricio Pochettino, isn't it?
cross-filled kicks. You've got 10 seconds. Who is that? What country does he play for and who is it? You said that out loud, though. Okay. And his name?
Dupont.
Dupont.
Look at him.
Listen,
He's amazing. He is a good-looking kid, eh? Even with a broken cheekbone.
Yeah, he's going to get a mask made for himself. That's in the guidelines.
Will it look like him, though? Will it be a mask of his own face?
Hopefully.
To put on, I think the
Well,
people
1
will like
point
it.
each, gentlemen.
Nice, man.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
That was a nice.
It was a nice
Nice
good
start.
I think
start.
you just
Easy
have to
start.
guess the country. I think
it's good.
Just guess the country.
I like
This
the
is
flex
good.
of the naming the players.
Yeah.
It's good flex. Eh?
Why
Yeah,
not
it is a
I
bit of
give
a
you
flex.
the next player's name?
Oh, it's going
So
to just
how does
confuse
that
me even
sound?
more. I have a feeling.
1 point each.
Okay.
Round 2. This player's name is Peter Aki. He joined the All Black Sevens team squad in 2013 and later that year helped the side win the 2013 World Cup Sevens. Can you guess which country he is representing in the 2023 Rugby World Cup?
I know, but I don't know.
Take a guess. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's see your
Scotland.
Fiji, Scotland. What is the answer?
Fiji could be a
He is representing
Yes.
Canada. No.
Tonga.
Tonga.
Tonga. I love how the hometown, they don't put that there.
I know.
I think, because I'm geographically closer, do I get the...
Yeah, I think
No,
you
you're
can.
still
okay.
wrong.
Oh, give him a halfer. Give him a halfer for that.
That's
a
right,
mulligan.
guys.
Come on.
That's right. Thank you.
Tonga.
Oh,
There we go.
and kudos for him, man, because he probably could have represented New Zealand at some point. That's brilliant, man.
Beautiful.
Round
Sure.
3, okay. 1 point each.
Thank you.
Our next player is a fly half. He represented his country at youth level as well as making 10 appearances for the under-20 side.
Tough one.
Oh, that's a very tough one. Who is he
very
playing
tough.
for? You have 10 seconds. Could you write it any bigger, Graham? Reveal your boards.
Got to use a little hangy thing.
Springbok, South Africa. Yes,
Dun, dun,
he is our very own Springbok player.
Yeah.
And he came
Barney
good,
Lebok.
man.
100% kicking record in the last game.
That's what I'm saying. All he needed was a little added pressure, you know, like you need any more at a World Cup. That was both educational, informative, and fun.
It was.
Amazing. Let's get into our final round. Our final player is known for, in fact, he's possessing...
I don't know what you said there. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean.
Possessing the Holy Trinity, speed, power and agility. He was a former winger for England. Who is he representing in this year's World Cup?
What?
He looks like a singer.
Looks like an American football. I
He's a
have.
former winger for England, so who is he representing now?
Yeah, I don't know.
2 seconds, 1 second, take a guess, reveal your answer.
I'm going Fiji again.
Wait, I know it looks like chicken
What is-
No,
scratchings.
that is not any...
That's an
Fiji.
F-I-G-I. I know it's dyslexic,
Fiji.
but it's there.
Let's see. Is that Italy?
Yeah, Italy. Okay. Well,
Wow.
I love how I have to guess based
But he's
on the
sporting a
flag.
slightly different look and clearly a
Yes.
different disposition.
it confused us.
He
with the look.
was loving life, and now he hates life. He clearly doesn't enjoy playing for this team as much as he used to.
Oh, look
Hey?
at that.
All 105 kilograms of him. Monster at centre, bro. Woo.
Sorry.
My hand was nervous to write that down. That's
So
impressive.
what are the scores?
2 each.
That's
You both got the same questions correct.
Thank you so much.
We both lost this together. I feel like that's what I didn't feel like any one of us came up, put up our hand and
I
won
would
this
have only
one.
gotten one right, and that would have been
Close, man. Yeah.
well
Fair
done,
game.
gents. And watching these exceptional players on game day, it requires game snacks and essential braai items. So head over to a Total Energy service station to top up on fuel, braai charcoal, fire lighters, snacks and drinks for the big game. And you can earn club points that can be redeemed for cashback vouchers, helping you save on those future purchases.
Okay. Yay.
There we go.
Come on. Yay.
Just like in rugby, it's uniting our energies that helps us move forward.
All right, so clearly some of us need to brush up on our knowledge a little bit. And of course, we can only go completely behind our Springbok players. And that means getting to know their journey a little bit. And to get ready now to meet our Springbok centre, Damian de Lendi, the rugby sensation who transformed his passion into pure sporting brilliance. He really has made his mark from cricket star, believe it or not, to Springbok hero. His journey is remarkable, an odyssey of triumph and glory. That was quite a pump up, man.
It was.
Because we like him, man.
If there was a stage, you'd have hyped him up properly. But he's got some youth rugby triumph as well. Damian de Lendi's journey from cricket star at Milnerton High School to rugby success is remarkable. Despite skipping Craven Week, he actually joined Vietpia under-19s in 2010, slowly ascending the rugby ranks and ultimately becoming a Currie Cup winning inside centre, which is brilliant. And I mean, naturally, he is one of those players that is sought after, very revered in the team, and he's a tank, honestly.
Yeah, man, he will bash it up, but he's also got some silky skills, and his professional career obviously took to a different level at Western Province and in the Stormers in Super Rugby. Really made his mark there, and he extended his contract with the Stormers in 2017, solidifying his place in the team.
Let's go international, shall we? De Lendi has been a key figure for the Springboks. He made his debut for South Africa in 2014, has since been a consistent presence in the team. He played a pivotal role in South Africa's victory at the 2019 Rugby World Cup, as you will remember, where they clinched their third title, their third of 4. Which is happening.
Look at him go. And of course, the global journey after winning the Rugby World Cup with South Africa in 2019 saw him head to Japan to their top league side, Saitama Wild Knights. And he then made a move to Munster in the United Rugby Championship, as many South Africans have, very successfully. His impact was immediate, earning a spot in the Pro 14 Dream Team in his first season at the gigantic club as well.
And of course, the 50th cap, we have to remember that. During the 2021 British and Irish Lions tour to South Africa, de Lendi earned his 50th cap for the Springboks, highlighting his longevity and significance in international rugby. He is somebody to be looked at, somebody to be proud of, and he's ours.
Yeah, he is ours. He will break the line, and I have a feeling he's going to play a part in this Rugby World Cup. So much action and excitement in our centre berth there. Damien, look at that proud face.
Hey.
We love you, guy.
Look at that. Fantastic.
Absolutely love it. Well, of course, we're going to take the very shortest of breaks, but we don't want you to stray too far. When we return, it's a last chance to vote for Zoe's outfit.
Absolutely. And then, of course, exploring vulnerability in the workplace. It's not just Graham, it's everybody.
I feel like
Oh, you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh, welcome back, you beauties. Of course, we needed your help this morning, or at least Zoe did, in choosing her outfit. New season demands a brave new look. So she has two exquisite looks that I think she would wear both really well, but it's down to you guys, of course. So let's have a little look-see at what people are saying this morning. Caroline, good morning to you. Floral mesh top with denim skirt, liking that one, option 1. From Matapelo saying Bishop frill blouse with high-rise jeans. Maso saying 2. Helen Makloa saying 2. Floral mesh top. People are loving that. Let's have a little look-see here. Cindy Lee Fredericks, option 2. Elmarie, option 2. Mario, option 2. It looks like option 2 is absolutely killing it this morning. Esme Henry saying good morning. Option 2 for Zoe this Tuesday. Absolutely stunning. Let's bring a few more up here. Janine Julie saying, Zoe, number 1. You always look beautiful in white. Option 1 starting to fight back. Mazun Dwana saying option 1. Chevy saying option 1. Shanae Charm saying number 2. This one is going to go down to the wire. Thank you so much. We literally had 158 people weigh in because that's how badly they wanted to help Zoe get dressed this morning. Well, should we reveal our winning outfit and look for that today? It is option 2 and it looks exquisite.
Option 2. 1, I love this. I mean, look at this beautiful floral blouse.
Yeah, that's
really great.
yes.
And then also pairing it with this beautiful pencil skirt.
Yay, it's a vibe. It's light and it speaks of a new season, but it's quite chic actually. It's
It
really,
is very
really
chic.
lovely.
I mean, it's got a cute little slit here in the front, so you just have to watch your legs.
Just the way you pose is important. Y'all did a fantastic job this morning. Thank you so much. And of course, you get to shop these looks right now and get this inspiration for yourself for the new season. And you can do it at Woolies in-store, online, or of course, using the amazing Woolies app. But I'm going to say this morning, you were on point. Well done, Zoe. Looks fantastic.
Thank you.
Ladies, I'm the boss. My time to shine, no time to get lost. Show them how I, show them how I.
Now, on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, we love talent, and of course, we're going to showcase them today. A local band, Perfect Fifth SA, alongside singer-songwriter Zidyasi, who most of you might know from being top 5 in a certain singing competition that you know and love. And they recently announced their collaboration, and it's so good to bring them in. In fact, Z, I want you to walk in here, come over here, as well as David from Perfect Fifth. Look at this, the perfect combination, in fact, in your Feel Good Breakfast Show, but I just needed to find out more. So first and foremost, hello, Z.
Hi.
We know you from that show, Steady You Know. We know, and we're proud of you. That's why when I saw you this morning, I was like, hi, Z. Right, but tell me about Perfect Fifth and how you connected with these talented musicians.
Actually, Perfect Fifth, we all used to go to the same school. Yes.
Drop that name of the school.
Yes.
I know you want to. Drop the name. Say it. You can do it.
Heathfield High.
Heathfield High School,
Yes.
represent.
Yeah,
Look there.
we used to go together to high school, and then I began my journey on Idols, and
Yeah.
after that, Alex he hit me up and he was like, we should do a song together. So I was like, sure, we should do
Did
it.
Alex hit you up in the DMs, by the way?
Yes,
Yeah,
hit
because
me up
he
in the
did that
DMs.
for me as well.
Yes.
We haven't collaborated yet, but Alex likes the DMs. I don't know why.
He hit
But
me
I'm
up.
just saying, so he got you in the DMs
Yes, he hit
and
me
said,
up and
let's connect.
Let's connect and do a song. And we wrote Belong, and it became a smash.
Wow.
Yes.
Now, David,
Yes, sir.
a.k.a. sometimes called Davi,
Yeah.
but I'll call it David for effect. I'm kidding, man. Tell me, Perfect Fifth and collaborations and actually developing your brand. I mean, you are so talented. Your musicality is there.
Oh, man, I appreciate
so why
that.
Z? I mean, even though you went to the same high school, but like, why
Yeah.
to say to Z? Why did Alex slide into her DMs?
I mean, besides the connection is only a small part of why we chose her.
Yes.
She is an amazing artist, an amazing performer, an amazing writer, and the voice speaks alone. So
Yeah.
that is the main reason why we chose her.
Oh, this is
Thank you
beautiful.
so much.
Oh, look, don't cry. Okay, just
I
not
won't.
yet, not yet. Don't cry yet. Tell me about Belong. I mean, it's did you write the song?
yes, I
And
wrote the
why did you write the song? Everybody has a reason for doing
yeah.
things, you know, the backing. So what's the Belong song about?
So everyone in the group like has their own meaning when
Yes.
it comes to Belong. So basically, Belong is about you have this dream, and it's just that you have fear of a lot of things and you have a lot of doubt. So it just says like you should stay content in what you believe in and just keep up with the fire that's burning inside of you.
You belong wherever you are. Like, I think sometimes imposter syndrome sits with us. And we don't realize that the opportunities and the platforms that we stand on, they actually belong to us. We have to believe that and trust that. So, David, the angle that you took this song, production-wise, I mean, it's very iconically South African. It's got that bit of piano vibe, you know, coming through. So, was that a very deliberate angle? Because I know that you guys can do anything. Why this angle?
I mean, we just wanted to break away from the normal sound that we have. And we saw that amapiano was trending heavily in the music industry, and we just decided, look, we're going to ride this wave and we're going to ride it for as long as we can.
So here's the big question, though, Z. You as an artist, I mean, you teamed up Perfect Fifth. Are any other producers allowed to slide into your DMs to collaborate? I'm just asking for a friend.
Are they sorry?
No, I'm asking, can they slide into your DMs to collaborate with you? Is it fine?
Yes, it's fine. They can.
What's your handle again?
Definitely, it's Z Jassy.
Z Jassy.
Yes, underscore.
Thank you. Same with you guys. Can any vocalist slide into your DMs to get a collaboration going?
Of course, definitely.
Perfect Fifth. That's fantastic. Now you know DMs are open and available for future songs. Please slide into either one of theirs and collaborate. If you're a producer, Z. If you're an artist, Perfect Fifth. And if you're in your Feel Good Breakfast show, slide into mine. And don't worry, a little later, they'll be performing for you a song called Belong that you have to hear. It's going to rocket up the charts. It's something fresh and new, and we love bringing that to you on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Let's take a look at your news. And, of course, somebody who belongs is standing right there, ready to deliver.
Oh, thank you, Wasty. Well, it's just before 7. Let's look at your national headlines. The Department of Public Enterprises has applied for leave to appeal against the decision of the High Court in Pretoria regarding Mango Airlines. The court ruled last week that Minister Pravin Gordhan has to make a decision on the sale of Mango within 30 days of the verdict. Spokesperson for the department says they now wish to focus on proper legal procedures being followed with Mango business rescue process, which will ultimately benefit the country. He says the department wants to ensure that all aspects of the process are transparent. And staying with our local news, the Department of Agriculture says the outbreak of avian flu has posed serious challenges and impacted the supply of eggs in some regions of the country. The Minister of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development, Toko Didiza, met with retailers yesterday to discuss the impact of avian flu in South Africa. During yesterday's meeting, they were briefed on containment measures that have been taken to limit the spread of the disease, as well as possible solutions to manage such outbreaks in short and medium term, including vaccination. And moving abroad, a cheap malaria vaccine that can be produced on massive scale has been recommended for use by the World Health Organization. The vaccine has been developed by Oxford University and is only the second malaria vaccine to be developed. Malaria kills mostly babies and infants and has been one of the biggest scourges of humanity. There are already agreements in place to manufacture more than 100 million doses per year. It's taken more than 100 years of scientific effort to develop effective vaccines against malaria. And the new head of the UN's Migration Agency will visit Africa on her first official trip from Sunday to highlight the scale of migration happening around the continent. Amy Pope, the first woman elected to lead the International Organization for Migration, will then head to Brussels in Belgium as the 27-member EU bloc deals with a recent influx of migrant arrivals in Italy. Pope, an American, will visit the headquarters of the African Union in Addis Ababa before meeting Ethiopian officials and then traveling to Kenya. It's not every day you find a puzzle, in fact, a Puzzy fur seal pup fast asleep outside of your door. That's exactly what happened when a family in Wellington, New Zealand arrived home last week. The young animal had, however, been on quite a mission to get there, as the journey to reach the napping spot from the beach involved climbing seawall, stairs, crossing a busy road, a driveway, and another set of stairs. New Zealand's Department of Conservation said the seal had likely already weaned from its mother and decided to go exploring somewhat, but would now be relocated to a safe spot. So, All well that ends well. Well, that's where I leave your morning headlines for now. Let's take another look at your sport.
Oh, what a crazy game it is. Let's start with rugby news, and great news for Lucanio. He is part of the victorious 2019 Rugby World Cup Springbok squad, and he's back for 2023. And of course, he is there as an injury replacement for Makazole Mapimpi, who suffered a fractured cheekbone in last Sunday's 49-18 victory over Tonga. So Mapimpi facing a 4 to 6 week recovery period. And who recently recovered from a knee injury, will link up with the squad in Toulon later this week. The 29-year-old missing the original squad selection earlier due to his prior injury, but he is now the second injury replacement in that 33-man squad, following Andre Pollard's call-up for Malcolm Marx. And of course, Pollard's a very successful return against Tonga, boding well for the Boks. Now we turn to cricket, and we might have lost it on paper, but the Proteas had a comprehensive practice session during their second and final warm-up match against New Zealand yesterday that was abandoned due to rain, with New Zealand winning by the Duckworth-Lewis system. So 9 bowlers had the opportunity to showcase their skills, and the team also witnessed impressive performances from Quinton de Kock, who took a few knocks, gave a brilliant knock of 84 non-out, and then showing some form, Rassie van der Dussen 51, Heinrich Klaassen 39, some big hitting there, guiding them to a total of 211 for 4 before rain halted play. So unfortunately, that first scheduled practice game against Afghanistan also rained out on Saturday, making yesterday's match at the Greenfield Stadium their sole preparation ahead of the opening game against Sri Lanka in Delhi this coming Saturday. It's all right on our footsteps. Great. Now, let's return to a footballing story that we sensed would have a bit more, maybe a twist in the tale. So Liverpool has reportedly requested access to audio recordings of communication between match officials during their recent 2-1 defeat at the hands of Tottenham. So their appeal stems from the officials' failure to correct an incorrect decision that disallowed a goal by Luis Diaz. So the incident occurred in the 34th minute when Diaz was wrongly flagged for offsides. It looked like a close call, but despite the use of VAR, the decision was not overturned, and PGMOL, the body overseeing referees, acknowledged a significant error, and that's their quote. Liverpool responded by expressing concerns about sporting integrity and pledged to explore various options to address the issue. So that one's certainly not done and dusted. And now, still a little bit of tennis to be had this year, and it's playing out in China as we speak. World number 3, Daniil Medvedev, advanced to the China Open men's semi-finals in Beijing, overcoming France's Hugo Humbert 6-4, 3-6, and 6-1. The first set witnessed 5 breaks of serve, incredibly, but Medvedev clinched it with an ace. And while errors crept in during that second set, Medvedev, he rebounded in the third, securing victory. And next for him will be Alexander Zverev, his old foe and friend, and 10:30 a.m. today is where that one gets underway, or when it does. But that's where we leave our sport for now. We'll touch on those headlines again in an hour or so. The roads should be waking up by now. Let's get you to work safely.
And of course, the roads are awoken, of course, and let me give you the details ahead of you if you are heading to work. Randburg and Joburg, let's start there. There is a stationary vehicle on the N1 southbound after Bayes Nodia Drive. The emergency lane is blocked, so please approach that area with caution. Then in Boksburg, Joburg as well, there's a stationary vehicle on the R21 northbound. Before Griffiths Road, one lane is blocked, so please, once again, exercise caution in that area. And in Centurion, Pretoria, there's been a multi-vehicle accident on the N1 northbound after Samrand Avenue. Of course, 2 left lanes are closed. Expect delays and allow for more travel time. Maybe a little message to the boss saying you're going to be a little later today for work. That's it for your traffic. Let's take a look at your weather. Now, the Gamtoes Irrigation Council says it's conducting discussions with role players to lift the water quotas from the agricultural sector in the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro and surrounding areas of the Kocha municipality. The drought-stricken area received welcome relief after the good rainfall over the catchment areas have brought the 4 largest dams to overflow, including the Kocha Dam. The Gamtoes Irrigation Council has welcomed this, but still asks that water be used sparingly. The head of management, Renette Koleski, says there's enormous pressure on the agricultural industry, and the drought has had a huge economic impact on farmers. Now, that's it for your weather news. Of course, you need to know your temperatures, and here they are right now on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. There are your temperatures. Wow, 38 in Uppington. Don't forget, sunscreen and hydration. As we take a look at your sunrise views, Anthony starts you off from George sharing this amazing view within his backyard whilst enjoying a cup of Java. And the golden streaks of the sun cascaded in the pillowy clouds. It's making me poetic. Can you hear that? Thank you so much. Then you are Null in the Western Cape, capturing this amazing image on a beautiful farm or on a morning walk. How refreshing that must be, looking at that, the beautiful scenery around you. Honestly, I'm actually in love with this. Thank you. Then Nick Lombard in Ludwigsfontein sent through a snippet of his morning view. That actually looks like an ad for the Kalahari. There's something about the trees there. It's just gorgeous. And then Omi in Kymoth sharing her view of the fluffy clouds filling up the sky beautifully. It's like the marshmallows you wish to bride during a book game. It's really beautiful. Thank you. Can we have more, please? 063-408-8863. I love your sunrise views. They make me so happy. So let's continue making you happy on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Oh, we are going to continue doing that because when we get back, we have a panel discussion that we want to unpack with you. We are choosing soft and we're asking the questions, is it okay or expected to be vulnerable in the workplace? And then we have Perfect Fifth essay here, ready to perform for you to bring us that gees we need for your Tuesday. So stay tuned to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We'll be right back.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and we are diving straight in. In this day and age, it's difficult to build strong human connections at our workplaces. We work in fast-paced environments where we are responsible for various responsibilities, and we tend to see our colleagues as competitors. Even in some work environments, you know, colleagues come and go, but not everyone has that same approach. Some choose vulnerability, and often we forget that vulnerability, it increases trust, which helps us also to build better and more meaningful human connections that can be valuable in the workspace.
Well, we're going to do some self-work here. I can feel it coming. I can feel it bubbling under. And of course, for our Choose Soft panel discussion brought to you by Big Soleil, we have registered counsellor Tammy Cruz. We've got recruiting experts Clarissa Olivier and entrepreneur Gabiba Hendricks. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. I always say, but it comes back to bite me, this is a safe place. But the workspace is often not a safe place. Yet we need these work connections. We need, and I think our job is maybe a skewed perception of reality because we work in a very emotional space where we have to bear a lot of ourselves. Maybe a good place to start is why it's important to do that. Before we look at the negative repercussions and the knock-ons, tell me, why do we need a little bit of vulnerability? What does it add to a working environment?
Well, trust is needed to build these sort of relationships that we are going to engage in long term. It's how we build a foundation of what it is that we're going to build on in this working relationship.
Completely. You want to know that other people are working on things when you're not doing it, because they trust that you're doing the same for them.
Definitely. And would you say it is important to normalize having emotions and vulnerability within the workspace, or should we keep that separate and don't mix the emotions with the workplace?
So I think it is important to normalize it because it does create an environment where communication, it creates an open flow of communication, as with the trust, and also engagement within the workplace. But I also think it's important not to overshare and to understand what emotions you can bring to work and not. So I think a lot of people need to look at emotional intelligence in order to determine the audience that they're working with.
Kabiba, you're nodding your head there. You're like, oh, I can see you going back through your life path, correcting mistakes you've made, improving on little bits and pieces. It all gets very real very quickly when you've got to actually go and put this into action, when it's your own business, when it's your own team, when you've got to get them motivated. What motivates people around you more? Is it you showing a softer side? Hang on, I'm human and I need you guys to get behind me now? Or is it you being the draconian, okay, if you don't do this, you're out the door kind of a vibe? What yields the best results for you?
Showing that you're human.
Really?
Yes. The stern and hard effect normally gets received they cut off immediately. When you show you are not basically on the same level as them, but that you also bleed and you also tear and you also feel.
What's at stake for you as well? I think people need to understand how much you're invested in the process.
Yes. But also ultimately people, I think, no one these days is able to keep emotion away from their workspace. Yeah. I think, if anything, COVID taught us to get more in touch with our emotions. I know it's a word we rarely speak these days, but it woke up a lot for a lot of people, especially within themselves. Purpose. And coming to work, having gone through what we've gone through, and then realizing, this is me now. I now feel. I've now lost.
Yeah, people are being forced to connect with that,
And also being in the industry that I'm in, they come to you as vulnerable as possible. And you just have to accept it.
For sure.
Tammy, what do you do in a situation where, let's say, the person you are reporting to is someone that is more in touch with their vulnerability and their emotional side, to the point where you feel like serious matters you can't approach them to? You first have to check with the colleagues, like, is he in a good mood? Is he...
Will I get fired today or not?
Where do we draw that line? Because I think everyone's emotional intelligence is different.
I mean, drawing the line is really hard because that is going to be different for everybody. But I think if you are showing up vulnerably and saying, hey, actually, I'm struggling and I know you're having a difficult day. I can tell that sort of something's off, but I really need to come and talk to you about this thing. Vulnerability isn't crying every day at office.
It's not weakness.
No, it's saying, hey, I'm struggling, or hey, the way that you spoke to me this morning was really difficult and it's actually really brought something up for me and I thought we could touch base on this.
Yeah, because there's generally a reason on both sides of that coin. Clarissa, it's almost becoming important that you understand a person's EQ as much as what their other talent kind of set in looking in that working environment. How much do you feed off the emotional person that you see? How do you even delve into that? Because these days, the right person for the right job, that fit is going to be purpose-driven, is going to be an emotional question. It's not just, did I study this, can I get that job? And I think companies are finding that out in a big way right now.
Definitely. So I think when it comes to emotions and emotional intelligence within someone that you work with, especially employer to employee relationship, I think that helps when you look at growth, where the person is going and how you're going to get that person to get to the point where they want to get to.
Empower them,
certain people need certain emotional structures and support, where someone else is a bit more driven or doesn't always necessarily need those pushes the whole time. They can just on their own grow and feed off what they need.
I love that, and I'm so glad that companies need to think like that. Well, I think the workforce of today is a very different workforce. So we're like, why must I come work at your company? Not like I need a job. Which is great, because again, it speaks to purpose.
Definitely. Habiba, have you ever found yourself in an environment where you've had to foster that energy of vulnerability, where people can trust you and create that trustworthy environment that some people seek within a workspace?
Yes, I have.
Was it an easy one?
How did you
Yeah.
I would like to say with my fantastic good looks and personality.
Yeah, exactly.
But not everybody is forthcoming. A lot of people are still very closed off. A lot of people need that nurture in a direction, but more a limitation, I would say, for how you want that person to come across and be vulnerable. Because like
it's got to be strategic, if that makes sense.
Yes,
strategic emotions, but it's a thing,
strategic analyzing and also ensuring that the person knows it's a safe space. I think that's important. And what happens in that space stays in that space.
Sure.
So you yourself coming forward needs to be a bit softer, not as rigid around the edges. But I think you ultimately control the situation on how it's going to go.
Yeah.
And allowing the next person to feel that they're comfortable.
It's okay.
It's okay. You're welcomed, you're accepted, basically. And I think once a person understands that, then they know they're more open to letting you in.
Completely. We're all people. Everyone is a person at the end of the day. I mean, it's easy for us because we sit with this different people on this couch, and ultimately you're all the same. As much as you're all incredibly gifted by virtue of the fact that you're here representing your field, you are here for the human experience, that angle. All of this says, yes, it's great for the colleagues and the people working around us. What about myself? What do I gain from being more vulnerable as a leader within a workspace, as a boss, as someone looking to climb that ladder? What do I get from opening up to that emotional conversation and sharing within the workspace? I get the most amazing response from my colleagues. I get lots of hugs, and we all cry together generally. Why? Because we've got this constant fountain of amazing inspiration like artists like these.
Inspiration is here indeed, and when it comes to vulnerability, I think the music industry is a place where that lives, that inspires all of the songs. And in fact, we've got Perfect Fifth SA alongside singer-songwriter Z Diasi to give you a track. It's a new one, and get on your streaming platform. Support vocals from the locals because they're here to perform this just for you. This is Belong. She looks so proud of herself, and you should be. That was the first performance of Belong on live television. Are you feeling good?
I'm feeling so good.
I felt good about that as well. And I mean, the thing is, people were very confused. They were like, perfect fifth.
Yeah.
Why are there 4 of them? And I realized there's 5 now.
Oh.
That's why. Perfect fifth. It's you, the supporter of them, but of course it's Zia Diase as well, which is great. So coming up, some fantastic ways to connect in the workplace. We chatted about vulnerability in that space. We're going to continue that conversation. And then we've got a hero when it comes to street skate, line skating, of course, and that is going to be Boipelo Awua. We'll be chatting to you all about that, so we'll connect there a little bit later. But bathe in that particular song. It's called Belong. Stream it now. Support vocals from the locals. And thank you for your support of your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for rejoining what is proving to be a wonderful conversation. Our panel is here to continue to discuss vulnerability in the workspace. Tammy, Clarissa, Habiba, thank you so much for being here. Tammy, I just wanted to jump right back onto something that I was kind of thinking about in our last session. We speak about what this gives to the workplace, what this gives to the mothership, to the stakeholders, to everyone other than ourselves when we're vulnerable. What do we gain within the workspace? We know that, yes, trust is there. But as a person, we need to process stuff. We need to feel heard. I need to know that if I'm broken down, that at least 1 or 2 of the people around me are aware of the fact. What do we get from being vulnerable?
Well, I think it's important to know that we spend about 90,000 hours of our life, so about a quarter of our life working. And so that
God
means...
help us. Yeah, God help us.
So that means that we're probably going to spend more time with our work than we will with our families. And so it needs to be a place that we can have meaningful connections, because that's where we're spending most of our time.
Yeah. That's sobering, yeah, sure.
Clarissa, do you think, you know, having a vulnerable leader is more effective in the workspace?
I definitely think so, and I'm going to touch base on what we spoke about earlier about leaders also being just humans. So I think as soon as a leader opens up that door in terms of, I'm also vulnerable, I also have struggles, because as a leader, you're taking on a lot of your employees' emotions.
Oh, there's
if you
nothing
create
like that.
door of open policy to come and share. So I think in a workspace, you're dealing with all of that, plus your own emotions and your own vulnerabilities. So I think as soon as a leader can open up and show, you know what, I'm also vulnerable, it creates that connection and it creates an environment where employees can feel safe. Because you know what, we're all sharing this and we can all do this together.
Trust.
So it all actually comes back to trust at the end of the day, which is the most important thing, I think.
And that goes up and down the chain, because our industry is like that. If we're a very lateral line of responsibility, so if anyone in this line makes a mistake, it can cost all of us. So we get that. Habiba, it is one thing to say, I'm going to be this person, I'm going to be soft in a workspace, and I'm going to help as many people as I can, but we still need to get the job done.
Yes.
And finding that balance can be quite difficult. So often that we see what we would consider feminine traits or motherly traits within a workspace being obliterated, shot completely to high heavens so that I can get the job done. How do you find, can you find that balance in your own working kind of space? Being an entrepreneur, somebody who presumably drives a lot of your own energy in that space. What works better for you?
I think ensuring that my cup is sorted.
Okay.
My cup isn't empty. My cup is basically able to assist others, but ensuring that I'm sorted.
How do you do that? How do you, have you said, is there a mechanism every day? I was going to ask, but that's a practiced mechanism, which is great.
Meditation, conversations, also feeding off other people's energies, for example, coming to the space and acknowledging where that person is. So you yourself, you need to make sure you know where you are before putting yourself in a situation that can go either way.
For sure, that's
so
very
for example,
responsible,
if you know that this person is not having a good day at the moment, you have to be sure you're having a good day and it's not going to affect
Clarissa's busy thinking about a job to place you in, eh? I'm thinking we might lose you to the big professional world at some space, because you're talking like a leader.
Yeah.
No, you really are talking like a leader right now, which is great. Yeah.
Well, you are our panel. We always have our WhatsApp line open to our viewers. So we received a voice note from Nirmala. Good morning.
Good morning, Feel Good Expresso team. Mrs. Nirmala Devi, Murli of Gauteng. Yes, I would be very selective as to who I have as my deepest confidant. I could share every secret of my personal life to that person. But otherwise, no. You will not hear it all from me. Thank you. Have a blessed morning.
Nirmala, not in Nkomas, now in Johannesburg. We absolutely love her because she takes so much care to craft what she's saying. And I think sometimes we do need to stop and just think before we speak. And I speak to myself. This is very much a self-mantra. How damaging can an overshare at work be, Clarissa?
Sure. Can have some dramatic effects, long-term effects as well, I think. So, yeah, it's difficult in an environment where I think it's open-planned environment as well, where everyone is sharing between each other. And then it becomes, I think sometimes it becomes to a point where it's a bit joking. People start, oh, but I'm not serious, it was just a joke.
And there's that one person sitting in the office actually going through that right now.
So you always need to try and keep we had a conversation about it yesterday, about trying to keep the fun in the workplace, to create that trust and to create that, but also, we also need to work hard and we also need to respect privacies and, you know, what people are going through without abusing the fun in that.
For sure, yeah. It's a balancing act.
Yeah, it is a balancing act. Yeah.
Tammy, with regards to a situation like that where someone had shared valuable information, I have someone close to me who shared with their boss. They had a trustworthy environment, the atmosphere was there, and shared intentions that they, as a family, were planning on moving abroad. And then COVID happened, and they never really saw that through. And that being said, the boss then told her boss, listen, this one's planning on moving, don't promote her. And then that had a backfiring effect. What would you recommend for, how can you trust your employer with that type of information, or is that best to be kept private?
I think that it depends on the person that you're working for, because if you sort of know and trust that they wouldn't share this, and you know that relationship wouldn't happen, you can sort of share that. But I think you need to first suss it out. Exactly. Otherwise, this can impact you, and then what?
And remember, everyone's got an agenda. As much as you want to think, you might have an amazing boss like Habiba here, who you think is completely 100% behind you, but everyone has their own agenda. I get that. I'm going to throw a bit of a snake in the grass. I don't know what the real term is, but social media. Is Instagram an overshare? Is the fact that people within the work environment can have access to this? And I know, that's a slightly different conversation, but essentially you're opening up a part of yourself, a very personal side. Maybe it's, I mean, there was a news story of teachers in bikinis that school children that they are teaching have access to. The same speaks to a workplace environment. How much should we be aware of, say, our social media space when we are working or in a professional environment? Maybe you want to start with that.
Very wary.
Very wary.
Very wary. I think social media has become your virtual CV, if that makes sense. I know everyone lately goes to social media first when you hear Yes.
And it's laughable when you think of how little of yourself is actually represented in that slice of you, you know?
Yes, and I think also the fact that there is a private button. So if you do have a private account and you have a professional account, keep the private account private. And only have your personal circle on it. I think it got lost in translation with the amount of following and what...
Yeah, validation.
What is it? What can I do to get following? But if your lifestyle is not social media, then...
Why do you need it? Yeah.
Yeah, basically. And also, you have full control of what you post on social media. I've also learned in the workspace, on the platform, for example, if you're only posting your work, you're not going to get as much following, but if you're going to add some, having breakfast somewhere, and all of a sudden, that gets so much views.
The more mundane, the better. Wow.
Yes. So the personal does sell, but you have
Again,
full
be strategic,
control.
yeah.
Yes, it's like having professional vulnerability then.
Okay.
But there is something very powerful in that, because that's something, again, a strategy that you can use when you need to as a manager, as a person within that system. You can lean on these tools. Guys, I've learned so much from you today. Thank you so much. From three very different lenses.
I know we have to wrap, but I just quickly feel like we need to ask Clarissa from a recruiting point of view. I believe there are strategies and software that companies use to filter through social media. How important is it for people in the workspace to not put that stuff of their work environment online? Or is it best to just...
Yeah, so I think at the end of the day, you as an employee need to make a choice of what your social media is presenting. And if you are using your social media for work purposes, then, like she said, try and keep things private or separate. And opinions should be, I understand that's your opinion, but on social media, it becomes a conversation. And then you need to look at, but if someone had to look at my profile, what am I representing my company? So then the company name starts becoming part of your social media and your opinion. So it's very difficult. It's a very fine line. So, yeah, as you said, keep it private, what you need to keep private, because we do look at even private accounts when we start searching for candidates and what you present on your social profile. So even if it's a personal profile, I think keep it to a professional level if you're trying to apply for work, because that's the first place we go, to get a sense of who you are.
Completely. That's why it exists. Maybe use it for what it's actually meant for, to put your best foot forward. I love it. Well, thank you so much to our amazing panel. Thank you for any of you who weighed in your mirror. Thank you for your voice notes. We want you to choose the soft conversation online. Let us know if you value meaningful human connections in your workplace. We've been talking about the importance of building trust, making those connections. How much do you value that? We're going to continue, I think, this one online for a long time now. Hopefully it's got you thinking about your own vulnerability within your own workspace right now.
And then if you want to choose soft, you can use the Big Soleil Click 3 or Click 3 Sensitive to make sure you have soft, silky skin.
Now, as we delve into the dynamics of the workplace, we look at what's trending on Expresso's feed. And one of our favorite videos, thank goodness, made a comeback. And I can tell you, a while back, we actually shared the different personalities you get within the workplace. So coincidentally, ties well into today's show. And we had a little fun on TikTok. And if you missed out on that, here's a lovely reminder.
With the bike.
Gadget guy.
So, I mean, you were loving that video. I mean, we were too. We were trying to like find out which one we were in the mix as well.
I'm the one that arrives just when I have to.
Yeah.
Not early, I'm not late.
It means that you value your time.
I can do a lot in a minute.
You value your time. I'm just saying, you do.
Yeah, no, she does pack it in, man. I'll generally arrive with the energy, or at least, you know, the feeling of the energy. What I look like, though, when I first walk in here, very, very different, though.
Yes.
But bearing in mind, we do walk in here at, like,
You bring the coffee. He always
Yes,
brings
exactly.
the coffee.
You smell the coffee first, and then me.
What am I then when I walk in?
I'm laughing. Generally, I will start laughing, and then I'll feel you walk into the room. I think that's how it works.
You are the energy. You are. We will be like quiet doing makeup. Bah! Music playing. Hello. Why is everyone still asleep? That's amazing.
You understand?
And we need it, dude. We need it.
Yo, honestly. No, and they say, oh, we love the energy, right? I walk out, I'm like, yo, he's so annoying. I hear these things. It's fine. But you were loving this online, so let's see what you had to say about it. We appreciate you. In fact, let's take a look.
Our first comment says, I'm definitely the one who eats a lot. Kimba.
Jacob. We all have them here where I work. All of them represented at Jacob's.
Oh, me, aka the Kimba.
I think there's always that. You forget the one who's always late but always has a coffee. That's like a combination of the two of us.
Yeah, but there's a reason why you were late, because you needed to get the coffee.
That's correct.
The Risters don't understand. You're on a schedule.
Yeah, we're supposed to question to you and ask which role you fulfill in your particular office space, and you really were great in terms of answering that. Let's take a look at you and your archetype in the office.
No, we're not going to reveal that.
We did. There were so many great ones. I mean, just off the top of my head, there were a few of them that said I'm the one that always finds a place to nap. Came through on our social media pages.
Ooh.
And I mean, there are other types of people,
I went through a phase of my career where I was thinking about having a nap in the car outside this morning, and it reminded me of the phase of our career where I think all of us discovered places within our studio to have a little bit of a nap.
And the excuse maker, don't forget about that.
There's always the excuse maker.
That's how it goes. But the thing is, we're not going to make any excuses. We have more entertainment for you. So here's the type of person that Ryle is at work. The energy guy, I thought I was. The one who's physically energetic, that's Ryle. He actually tried the new Ninja Warrior course. Ooh. And we're going to take a look at that. Trust me, guaranteed his arms are going to be out. At least something.
He's probably going to not be wearing anything at all, I would imagine, bar speedo.
And there's a new street line skater we want to introduce you to. He is the champion of the tournament, so stay tuned to your Feel Good Breakfast show.
Check this. The Smiles Plus account gives you cash back on groceries and 25 cents back per litre at BP. That's lit.
Lit in 2023.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on S3, and the third edition of the Street Line Skate Tournament took place at the legendary Thrashers Skate Park in Pretoria over the weekend, Saturday, 30 September. Of course, Olympians Boipelo Awua from Kimberley and Brandon Valjalo from Johannesburg took top honors in the women's and men's divisions, respectively. And here to chat to us about this amazing tournament and a win is SA and Olympian skateboarder Boipelo Awua. Boipelo, good morning. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling super excited. I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Yeah, thank you. No one ever looks forward to conversations, but now you can. This is wonderful. So, Boipelo, winning this, it's a third tournament for you. How are you feeling right now?
I feel super grateful because doing it 3 times back to back, that just shows me that the work I'm putting in is really paying off, and that with consistency, I can win it even more, you know.
You know, you're such an ambassador to so many young people, being a young person, because, I mean, you were the youngest South African athlete at the Tokyo Olympics, right? So, naturally, as a young person, you're carrying a nation and also being so young. So, how are you handling that? Are you feeling like it's a good responsibility? And are you excited about that chance to inspire other people your age to get involved with the Olympics and skateboarding?
Yeah, definitely. I feel super privileged to be in the position I am to inspire more girls. So I don't really see it as pressure. You know, whenever I'm in a situation, I look back to my younger self and all the South African female skaters I look up to, and I try to embody that through my own brand.
That is sensational. I'm loving the fact that you are carrying yourself so well. I mean, you sound like a South African ambassador, but of course you are an ambassador, and you mentioned this to young girls trying to get into whatever space they want to be, because often there's that fight for the seat at the table. So, Boipelo, what is a message for young women trying to get into their sport? In fact, young women trying to get into skateboarding, what do you want to tell them, especially as they go into a male-dominated sport sort of place, you know? What do you want to say to them to inspire them to keep on going?
What I would tell them is to focus on the positive side of skateboarding. When I got into skateboarding, the males weren't as accepting, but then eventually they got used to it. And as I progressed, I felt more welcome to the sport. I'd say just focus on yourself. Do it because you enjoy it, and don't compare yourself to anybody else, because in skateboarding, we all have our own unique styles. We all do different tricks. So whatever you feel comfortable with, just do that.
I love that. It's so confident and it's so pure as well. But now, moving forward for you, what's the next step? What are you aiming for next? Because, I mean, you sound so ambitious. You can do anything you want to do. So what is next for you?
What's next for me, I'm definitely looking forward to the next Street Lines competition. I always love this event because it just brings all the SA skaters together, and the vibes are just amazing. And for me personally, I'm currently in the process of trying to qualify for the 2024 Paris Olympic Games, so I'm definitely looking forward to that.
And of course, you need as much support as you can get. So for the sport of skateboarding, you know, a message to any sponsors and anybody, you know, to support the sport. I mean, you've got the platform now, and we have to back athletes like you. So what do you want to say to them in terms of the sport of skateboarding?
To the sponsors, I'd say we definitely need the support as skateboarders. It is a growing sport. If they could put more effort into building a lot more facilities around South Africa. But people like the event hoster of Street Lines, they are moving in that direction, and a few brands as well, they are moving in the correct direction. So now it's just a matter of building facilities, helping the skateboarders individually and helping us grow.
Boipelo, thank you so much for joining us on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and well done once again. You are such an inspiration to so many. Thank you for being a great South African ambassador as well.
Thank you so much for having me.
Love it. Boipelo Aua, of course, Street Lines Skate Tournament champion, and many more tournaments to champion in her future as well. And remember, the thing is, don't ever look for a seat at the table that you own, young ladies. Just go and focus on yourself, focus on the purpose, and don't forget to enjoy, as Boipelo said.
And then you sit at the head of that table. Absolutely love it. Your table. But I think Raul is trying to find a seat at a table. I don't know what he's doing. He's tried a hip-hop lesson. He's tried a Zumba lesson. He's even tried a little bit of bouldering.
Ooh, so what else has this block of muscle put himself through in the name of finding fun ways to stay fit? Well, apparently his next activity involved a few backflips and a Ninja Warrior course. Well, let's check it out.
Oh yes, what is up, Mzansi? Now on my continued mission to find fun ways to stay fit, what could be more fun than a jump, a hop, a skip, a flip, right here at Rush. Let's go have some fun. And how's it going, bro?
Hey, good feeling you?
Oh, lekker. Man, it's getting intense here, eh?
It is.
Look, I absolutely love what I'm seeing, especially the fact that there's kids of all shapes and sizes and ages.
Yeah.
But why is it inviting and encouraging so many different people of all ages?
It's the vibe. When you come here, usually we are full and there's a lot of people. So people come here to just feel the environment and get into the sporty spirit.
Oh, that's the key point here that I'm talking about. Yes, there's a lot of fun happening. Do you think this is something you could consistently use as a way to kind of engage the body and stay on that pulse?
Ever since I started coming here, just generally my fitness has went up because I jump on these trampolines a lot of the times. You work on your arms, your legs, your entire body actually.
And you don't even realize what you're doing.
You don't. You just have fun all the time.
One thing I've never been able to master, which I'm seeing everybody doing so comfortably, is a backflip.
Yeah.
You think you could maybe take me through some of the basics and the paces and hopefully maybe even crack a full-on backflip?
I think so, but to be like me, you'd have to jump rope as well.
Okay, well, let's have some fun and take me through my ropes here. First impressions, honestly, of doing a backflip, I'm so scared. I've never done this in my life. I've never attempted it just based on the risks alone. But I gotta be honest with you, the fact that Anthony's here, it's giving me a little bit of nerves knowing that I'm gonna attempt this and I'm hoping it's a success. Take me through the process. How do we master the backflip?
A lot of people don't like their head being upside down.
Yeah, and it's disorientating,
Exactly, so you're gonna get disorientated. So I try to get them to do a couple of back rolls to get used to the disorientation.
Okay.
A backflip is a jump tuck. So you're gonna jump backwards and then tuck, bring your legs over to your chest, and that's gonna initiate the rotation. And then the last move is just opening up. So we're gonna work on those three things: jumping up, tucking your knees, and then opening up. That's how you land it.
All right, sounds like a lot, but I'm ready to learn. I know I'm in good hands, so let's go back to the beginning, and that was backward rolls.
Yeah, backward rolls.
Okay, so making sure I tuck, throw back,
and then fall backwards, up, yes.
Okay, step one. We're getting there, Let's keep practicing this and then we move over to the next round. All right, one more time. Just working on backward rolls. You think that that's something so simple, but it really allows you to understand what your body's gonna go through. And I think from there, you already slowly start to build confidence. And what I'm starting to realize in this three-step process is that it's taking you from point A to Z so comfortably. While giving you confidence, I'm working out, I'm having fun, I'm really concentrating because I don't want to injure myself, but you really can't hurt yourself here. It's safe, it's fun, this is for me. I love this. It really helps going through the steps, respecting the process, and what Anthony presented was incredible.
Well done. See, it was easy. It was easy.
Yes, bro, we did it! Woo! Oh, man, I am feeling so pumped. Definitely, for me, that was a big mental challenge, physically as well, but we did it. But I'm waiting for some more challenges. What else you got for us?
Yeah, so now we're moving on to testing your physical fitness because our Ninja Warrior obstacle course is designed to test your agility, the stamina that you have, and how calm your mind is.
This is a timed course, right? What's the sort of top time to kind of get to?
It's just a little under a minute.
Woo! All right, bro, I'm ready for this. Challenge accepted.
Go. Go, go. Move on to the next. Yep. Okay, let's go. You got this. Making good time. You're making really good time. Let's go. Let's go. Whoa. Let's go.
So I just jump?
Yeah, find a way. Almost there, let's go.
Woo!
And time.
Jeepers. Whoa!
That's good.
Woo!
So your time was exactly 1 minute.
Oh, that's not bad, right?
1 minute and 52 milliseconds. So you're not too far from the actual time. That's good.
You've given me every reason to come back here and put more work in. That was an absolute joy. Thank you so much.
Exactly. See, now this is what I want to hear. You want to come back here.
Honestly, I can't tell you how awesome this was. I've literally unlocked new skills. I've unlocked the inner child in me, And you can see clearly from everyone having fun that it doesn't matter what shape, what size, or wherever you're on your journey, you can come out here and still get your fitness on. You don't have to go to the gym. There's so much magic out here. I mean, I even got a good pump too. So what more is there to enjoy other than coming down here, booking a spot, and getting the entire family involved? And hey, did I mention there was loads of fun? I think I did. You get the picture.
Absolutely love it. So whether you can beat Ryle's time or not as a ninja warrior, you got to try the Ninja Warrior course. Absolutely awesome. Or maybe you prefer to just take it slow, just a chilled, slow stroll to keep fit. Then Vodacom Enhance wants to equip you with the right tech to help you track your goals and even listen to great tunes. I need that.
Now you can now enhance your new or existing plan to access a wide variety of smartwatches, headphones, and the latest buds. Plus, activate your eSIM-enabled devices so that you'll never miss a call or notification while you are on the move. Now, to view all of the devices and deals on offer with Enhance, visit vodacom.co.za.
Fancy, enhance what you love. Add more of what you need to your contract. Choose from a range of enhanced options in-store or online. Further together, Vodacom.
Reasons to stick with us, your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Well, number one, we chat about vulnerability in a relationship, unpacking that is so important. And then number two, Perfect Fifth is still here with Z Diasi, and they'll be performing something special for you, so stay right there. This is S3.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and you are just in time because we're about to be embracing Hope-tober with the inspiring words of Trevor Noah. He once said, "Hope is the heartbeat of South Africa. It is the rhythm of our people."
I love that. So this month is a celebration of exactly that, hope. Not just for South Africa, but for our lives and the lives of all that we touch. Hope-tober, made possible, of course, by Adcock Ingram OTC, the sponsors of Brave, is in full bloom, I think is the best way to describe it. And it is beautiful, radiating hope across our beautiful nation. Does hope feel different to you now? You're filled with love at the moment. You are very much focused on things that are positive. What does hope look like to you right now?
I think hope is always there, no matter what season of life I'm in. But I think for me, hope is just the excitement of what's to come. I'm not wishing the now away. It's just the excitement of the unknown and the future. So I just want to, encourage everyone as the seasons change. It's just it's more infectious to be hopeful as it becomes longer days and warmer weather. So tap into it and enjoy it.
Yeah, the people around you will feed off it and they'll give you more of that energy. It's a beautiful thing. It's an opportunity for you literally to change the vibe around you because everyone wants a piece of this hope, and I love it. So listen up, Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave, are going to add a little bit more to that hope by giving away 1,500 Rand cash every weekday, every single day on Expresso during the entire month of October.
Now, to be today's lucky winner, all you need to do is head on over to the competition post on Expresso's Facebook, Instagram and Twitter pages and tell us what your message of hope for South Africa is, and be sure to use those hashtags HopeTober and hashtag sponsors of Brave in your comment. But you better hurry up because the competition closes at midday today. There are T's and C's that can be found on our website, expressoshow.com.
HopeTober is a month of hope. Brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave. Inspiring communities, one pharmacy at a time.
And it's just before 8 o'clock. Let's take a look at your news for the final time in the Feel Good Breakfast Show. Starting nationally, the Minister of Police, Bheki Cele, says some 75 million rand was spent on the deployment of police officers during August's BRICS summit in Johannesburg. About 5,200 police officers were deployed and 726 vehicles were used. The summit in Sandton took place over 3 days. The heads of state of the BRICS countries attended the summit, and the Russian President Vladimir Putin participated virtually. Several other world leaders also attended the summit. Now, the Department of Public Enterprises has applied for leave to appeal against the decision of the High Court in Pretoria regarding Mango Airlines. The court ruled last week that Minister Pravin Gordhan has to make a decision on the sale of Mango within 30 days of the verdict. Spokesperson for the department, Ellis Mnyandu, says they now wish to focus on proper legal procedures being followed with Mango's business rescue process, which will ultimately benefit the country. He says the department wants to ensure that all aspects of the process are transparent. On to international news. Democratic Republic of Congo's Denis Mukwege, a surgical gynecologist and Nobel Peace Prize winner, announced yesterday that he would run for president in the December elections. Mukwege said he would do so in order to save a country driven by insecurity and poor leadership. Mukwege, a 68-year-old, rose to global fame for performing reconstructive surgery on a woman who had been raped in the country's war-torn east. His hospital has so far treated some 50,000 survivors of sexual violence, and he's cemented himself as one of the world's foremost experts in his field. Now, a cheap malaria vaccine that can be produced on a massive scale has been recommended for use by the World Health Organization. The vaccine has been developed by the Oxford University and is only the second malaria vaccine to be developed. Malaria kills mostly babies and infants and has been one of the biggest scourges on humanity. There are already agreements in place to manufacture more than 100 million doses per year. It's taken more than 100 years of scientific effort to develop effective vaccines that is against malaria. And whoever thought that our story last month of the Brit taking his pet turkey everywhere, even to the pub, could be bettered? Well, we found a story for you. An Australian, Igor Fiuza, has done so and bettered that one. And his surfing pet that he takes along with him is a python named Shiva. At Rainbow Beach on the Gold Coast is where they surfed out, but alas, last week he was slapped with a pretty steep fine by Australian wildlife. And no, not for surfing, but taking Shiva out in the public. Fiuza holds the correct permit. Australia requires owners of pythons, such as Shiva, to have, but he isn't allowed to take her from his licensed premises without a special permit. He was fined the equivalent of more than 9,000 Rand on the spot. Quite a pricey surfing outing. However, it's your pet Baba Python. Why not take them for a good surf? That's it for your news on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Of course, let's take a last look at your sport. Here's Graham.
From those apex predators to prey that just won't be prey, Lukhanyo Am is back. Part of the victorious 2019 Rugby World Cup Springbok squad. He is back for 2023 as an injury replacement now for Makazole Mapimpi, who sadly suffered that fractured cheekbone in last Sunday's 49-18 victory over Tonga. So Mapimpi facing a 4 to 6 week recovery period now as a result. And Am, who recently recovered from a knee injury, will link up with the squad in Toulon this week. The 29-year-old, of course, missing squad selection earlier due to that injury. Well, he is now the second injury replacement in the 33-man squad, following, of course, Andre Pollard's call-up for Malcolm Marx, with Pollard's very successful return against Tonga as well. So it's boding well for the squad. Now, we turn to cricket, and albeit we might have lost via Duckworth-Lewis, but the Proteas had a comprehensive practice session yesterday during their second and final warm-up match against New Zealand before it got rained out. So 9 bowlers had the opportunity to showcase their skills. The team also witnessed some impressive performances from Quinton de Kock, who took some knocks. Great knock, though, of 84 not out. Rassie van der Dissen looked in devastating form, and Heinrich Klaassen also big hitting. And that guided them to a total of 211 for 4 before rain came in to halt play and spoil the party. And unfortunately, that first scheduled practice game against Afghanistan also rained out on Saturday, making yesterday's match at the Greenfield Stadium effectively our last preparation game before the big one, the opener against Sri Lanka, and that's in Delhi this coming Saturday. So we are spoiled for sporting choice this weekend. Now let's throw it back to last weekend's results that no doubt was going to take another look. Liverpool has reportedly requested access to audio recordings now of communication between match officials during their recent 2-1 defeat to Tottenham. And the appeal stems from the officials' failure to correct an incorrect decision that disallowed a goal by Luis Diaz. And the incident occurred in the 34th minute when Diaz was wrongly flagged as offside. It did look close, but despite the use of VAR, the decision was not overturned. The PGMOL, the body that oversees referees, acknowledged a, quote, significant error. Liverpool responded by expressing concerns about sporting integrity and pledged to explore various options to address the issue. So certainly watch that space. I don't think that story is done and dusted by a long shot. And now we turn to tennis, and China is giving us some great year-end excitement. World number 3, Daniil Medvedev, advanced to the China Open men's semi-finals in Beijing, overcoming France's Hugo Humbert, 6-4, 3-6, and 6-1. That first set witnessed 5 breaks of serve, but Medvedev did hold his nerve and clinched it with an ace. And then errors crept in during the second set, but Medvedev was able to rebound in that third, securing victory. So next for him will be his old friend and old foe, Alexander Zverev. That one kicks off at 10:30 a.m. today. And that's a wrap of your sport for this Tuesday morning. The turn to the roads one last time before getting one last take on the weather.
Thanks, G-Man. Well, let's start off with traffic in Centurion. There's been a multi-vehicle accident on the N1 northbound after Samrand Avenue. 2 left lanes are closed and the back of queue is at Olifantsfontein Road, so expect heavy delays this morning. In Centurion, there's a vehicle broken down on the N1 southbound before Brakfontein Road. 1 lane is closed, expect delays. And moving to Cape Town, there's some congestion on the N2 inbound at Jakes Garwal Drive off-ramp, expect delays. And there's also congestion on the N2 outbound before Victoria, expect delays and add more travel time to your journey. That's your traffic for this morning. Let's take a final look at your weather. And the SA Weather Service have issued no severe weather warnings for today. However, extremely high fire danger conditions are expected over the central and eastern parts of the Northern Cape, the western parts of Northwest, the Mokare local municipality of the Free State, as well as the Walter Sisulu and Enoch local municipalities of the Eastern Cape. Fires in several parts of the country have already caused huge damage to pastures and planted crops in the past few months. Large-scale animals and wildlife losses have also occurred. Well, that was your latest news. Let's take a look at your temperatures. And those are your temperatures for your Tuesday. Let's take a final look at your sunrise views for this morning. Vash in Johannesburg is kicking us off with this gorgeous sunrise. Nick Lombard in Louriesfontein shared this view of the beautiful flowers. Look at those shades of pink. Absolutely gorgeous. Then Andre from Impangeni in KwaZulu-Natal captured this wonderful sunrise in the distance. And we have Ashik from Strandfontein who captured this image of the fluffy clouds. Look at those beautiful color tones in the sky. Well, share your sunrise views with us. We love seeing them. Our number is 063 408 8863.
Absolutely beautiful. I think we're going to have an annual Expresso Good Morning competition, photo competition. Absolutely beautiful stuff. Thank you for inspiring you. We will repay you in kind because now we have discovered that Z is the perfect fit. And they are here to perform for you. They have been amazing all morning. There is something special happening in the chemistry behind me. And we are here for that. And hopefully the chemistry in your relationship is just as special. We're asking questions about vulnerability. We've dealt with the workspace. Now let's talk about relationships. It's a Tuesday on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. That relationship chat kicks off in just a moment.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. You're just in time for our final hour together right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Now, earlier in the show, we dived into the dynamic of vulnerability in the workspace. Now we're putting the focus on being vulnerable in your own relationship and what that looks like when you're being taken for granted. Now, you may do things for your partner every day out of love or act that brings you joy. But what happens when your partner expects from you and takes advantage of it? Is that fair? Those are some of the questions we are asking today.
And then we have experts.
We
just bring experts all over, okay? So now we've got a registered wellness counselor from Living in Purpose Counseling. Karen van Skalkwyk is here, and husband and wife duo. We've got Rishka Barnes over here and Camille Wahi, who has joined us here for a lovely conversation. So we've got experienced people and people who are experiencing the experience that the experienced person has.
It's all about giving everyone that experience.
Yeah,
it's cool.
It's great.
Oh. Well, Karen, I'm going to start off with you. I mean, you don't expect this from your partner, or at least I'm hoping you don't expect this from your partner, but what do you do in a moment where you feel like your partner's taking advantage of your vulnerability, your soft side, or perhaps, your love language?
I think it's important to, not shy away from bringing it up with them. And some people look at being soft as a bad thing. I don't think it is a bad thing. It's you need to have the good, you need to have the bad. You need to have the soft, you need to have assertive people. But it's also important to let your partner know how you're feeling. Because if you don't let them know what is going on, they're not going to understand.
Yeah.
It's going to constantly be an expectation for you to do it. So don't expect them to just know what is going on in your mind or understand what you are feeling. Tell them, be verbal about it. I think that's an important factor to know and to note in a relationship.
Well, now we have the experience right next to you. Just on that, I do want to just ask, just from this lovely couple over here, right? When you hear those words about, you know, you want to be verbal, I mean, it is really easier said than done, because there are parts of you that almost want to protect your partner from certain things. And then there are parts of you that also would like to protect yourself from certain sort of vulnerabilities in the relationship. So, I mean, how difficult is it to navigate that space between you and a partner? This is somebody that doesn't particularly know your context unless you've been with them for a while. So how have you navigated that sharing?
Communication. Communication is very
All
important.
the time communicating.
But now what type of, because I know communication is a big thing.
Communication on every level. From even like when he's in the lounge or something and I'm in the room, even if we're sending like reels about other couples, which really helps. You know, it's just to know that we're not the only ones going through this sort of things.
Yeah.
Makes it a lot easier for us
and
to
like memes
understand.
and things like
it's okay
that.
to be vulnerable and understand how other people act also. It's like, okay, we're not the only ones. We're fine.
So are you saying that you overshare? So let's just say something
yes, we do. We speak about everything.
If something's tough at work, and you don't want your partner to feel like anything's unstable. Like, I want to ask you the hard question now. Are you okay to share those sorts of things and say, like, look here, I'm not sure if we are going to be good?
No, we will always ask the question.
Love it.
Like, I can, like, sense if there's something wrong with him already. At the moment he walks in, I'm like, how was work today? So, like, he'll, like, sit down and we'll discuss everything.
Wow.
Luckily for us.
I love that you use tools like reels and memes, because I've received many of them be like, this is you.
Yeah, that's so weak. So when we like face each other, they will laugh like that was us.
But it helps because I mean, I'm someone that sometimes just needs a bit more time to process.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see there are reels out there that demonstrates that can shed light to the person that wants to.
social media.
It does. I love that you're using those tools. Other than social media, are there perhaps other tools you've implemented in your relationship to help foster that safe environment to be vulnerable with one another?
Spending time together without our kids. Very important, because sometimes we forget, you know? Like we forget us. So we went out the weekend and then it's like we rekindle things again.
Okay.
It's like we're not only parents.
Always need time for yourself to just to be free a little bit and come back to the point where, oh, okay, I am a person. I'm not just a father, I'm not just a mother. We need to be able to be ourselves, to express the way we feel.
Yeah.
Let loose a little bit.
I think what you're trying to say, let me try and find the Oxford Dictionary term. You must continue chasing each other.
Basically.
In a relationship.
Definitely. Always.
But of course, our expert will be weighing in on communicating vulnerability in a relationship in the next couple of minutes, so make sure you stay there as we continue entertaining you on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
I want to know what the nonsensometer is sitting at. Now, where's our nonsensometer? Okay, we're going to break the scale today. Now, we are here for real engagements and a little bit of vulnerability as we connect to music. That's where our feelings lie, where they come to life. And joining us is a local band, Perfect Fifth SA, shut up, Carl, who have been riding with each other since 2015. They aspire to inspire the community around them and young people for positive direction and guidance. I absolutely love that. We've got Alex and Ryan. They've been let loose from the back to chat to us. Guys, you represent something really special here. You can feel it. I've got to ask you, maybe Alex, you can help me understand this. When you are as talented as you guys all are, clearly in your own individual rights, you've got this amazing artist voice to play around with now. Do you want to just do cover songs and see how well you can do these amazing bodies of work, or do you want to create your own body of work? Where does the creative kind of passion lie at the moment? Because you can do so much.
Yeah, so at the moment, I think it's been our vision and goal to push our own brand as artists, and working with Z, it opened up our mind to be creative because of how creative she is as an individual.
And the chemistry here, yeah.
So we don't want to do, or we don't want to be that band that just do covers out there. We want the world to sing our original music.
100%.
Come from us, so.
Because it matters, because being my ripe old age, I get to see the kids who are inspired by you 5, 10 years down the line. And I've seen this cycle repeat itself over and over again. And we joke about representation, we talk about it, and it's this cliche, it's vital. Yeah. It's absolutely vital. I know you're a Ryan who identifies as a Brian, which is fine. You can do that. You guys obviously have a focus on helping young people change their reality. And music's a great way to tell stories. It's a great way to kind of put all the baggage and nonsense at the door, or maybe tap into the baggage. I don't know what it is about music, but do you feel it's different now? Do you feel the power of what you do has changed, maybe post-COVID? Everything feels different. Why is it so important for you to focus on helping others, your community and young people?
I think the music industry and what has become of it has really helped us.
For sure.
Going through these times of COVID, the pandemic and stuff like that. So I think the music is one positive thing that we can actually take on and run with it and make something positive of our lives.
Completely.
So yes, I think music is one thing that we can actually take and create something.
It is. It takes the darkest moments and turns them into something beautiful. And what I love about you guys is you're proving it. You're proving it every day. So give me that microphone. Go and prove it once again. What I need from you, gents, get back to your places, get back to your weapons of choice. What I need from this gang is a little bit of focus, which just, of course, happens to be the beautiful tune coming up, originally performed by her. It's Perfect Fifth SA. Focus.
Can you focus on me? Baby, can you focus on me? Hands in the soap, got the faucets running and I keep looking at you. Stuck on your phone, are you stuck in your zone? You don't have a clue, but I don't wanna give up, babe. Baby, I just want you to get up. Lately, I've been a little fed up, yeah. Wish you would just focus on me. Can you focus on baby, can you focus on me? Lazy and broke, know we get this money, so I guess I can't complain. Oh, but I feel alone even when we're alone. You don't have a clue, but I don't wanna give up. Baby, I just want you to get up, yeah. Lately, I've been a little fed up, yeah. Wish you would just focus on me. Can you focus on me? Baby, can you focus on me? Can you focus on me? Baby, can you focus on me?
Promise me a photo shoot.
Oh, I don't want that to ever end. Oh, my favorite new pastime is looking at the faces of bands as they play a funky groove like that. Absolutely exquisite. You guys are so unbelievably talented. Thank you so much for blessing us with this energy. We are here for that. Maybe that pressed a button in your relationship, got the emotions all bubbling over. That's okay. This is a safe place. We want you to be vulnerable. Unless, of course, your partner's taking advantage of your softness. Is that happening? Well, we will be broaching that with our panel as we continue to discuss vulnerability in relationships, and then we go to the source of health, your gut. Is your gut healthy? Your whole well-being stems from that, so stick around. We've got some sage advice coming up.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso, and we love getting vulnerable with you. We've got our expert, Karen, who's alongside our amazing couple, Rishka and Camille, who is here to just share, and we're going to make them share, all right? Because here's the question. Is my partner taking advantage of my vulnerability? That is a big question. And I mean, the thing is, to our expert, Karen, I have to ask, you know, the signs that your partner is taking advantage of your vulnerability, what should we be looking out for that perhaps you've seen within your practice?
I think, you know, as the person that is experiencing that in their relationship, you can ask yourself, is my partner dismissing my emotions, my feelings? Are they using what I share with them against me, specifically in, you know, like an argument?
Yes.
I think it's easy to throw that in somebody's face when you're having an argument, so that they make you feel like they are in control, they have the power over you.
Yes.
If you can answer yes to, are you the one trying to keep the peace all the time? Are you the one going out of your way to apologize? Those are all signs of being taken advantage of in your relationship, you know, that you don't feel safe enough. So that's what you're going to experience.
And those are the moments, unfortunately, that will dampen the fluidity of communication in vulnerability.
Yes.
Because next time it happens, you're not going to be so open to share because you know what the repercussions are.
Exactly.
And I think some people actually know that and hold it over their partners.
Yes.
Which is a big problem. So for you two, the lovely couple. So have there been moments where, let's just say, and I want you to be honest here, I've been trying to get to you guys so often, but okay, here it comes. A little problem moment where somebody shares and perhaps the other person's not having it. How have you worked through those types of times? Unless you are the perfect couple and we need to find another couple to talk to so we have more drama on the show. I'm kidding.
not the
But
perfect
how have you worked through that?
I think we give each other time. Yes, if we argue over anything,
I mean, generally in the time she will pop me on WhatsApp like, yo, it's not on.
Yeah, a long message.
He said he kept this after our meeting. And then, yeah, we
We'll
worked
just,
through it.
yeah.
I wanted to ask about that as well. And then maybe the expert can help here. So I find that many couples enjoy resolving issues through something that's more digital than face-to-face, all right? Is that healthy? I need to ask this because surely you're still addressing the problem. There's still a two-way communique. It's not face-to-face. Do you think that is constructive? Like, you can be as honest as you want to right now.
From a personal perspective,
Yes.
as well as professional, I would say it's not constructive. But I do also understand that people have different ways of communicating and being able to be vulnerable. I think for me personally, I like to communicate on a face-to-face level. So there's no room for miscommunication. There's no room for, you know, judging the person in a way that maybe that's not how they're coming across. So the perceptions can be deceived and there can be assumptions placed on it if it is done on social media or over WhatsApp, for example. So I think it's important to find your way of communicating, but for me personally, face-to-face, let's sit down after we've both cooled off, have the conversation, share what's bothering us, just be completely transparent in that moment.
I mean, any strategies that you use? Like maybe, I know relationships sometimes have this rule of thumb, like the 7-minute rule. You know, where one speaks 7 minutes and the other one speaks 7 minutes and you resolve that way. Do you have any strategy like that?
We're not that formal. We just speak it out. Yeah.
You just speak it out?
Yeah, we just speak over.
Like you were wrong.
When he cooks.
Get out.
Then the food comes and then we discuss.
Food is actually a good way of communicating.
He knows the food is the way to get to me.
So, just in terms of, I mean, these two, they love each other. It's so unfortunate. Anyway, I'm kidding. No, I love the fact there's such great love, and this is a testament to what happens when you do communicate often, whether it be good stuff or bad stuff. You have to be in each other's spaces when it comes to the vulnerability. You can't only be there for the good times.
Yes.
Let's be honest. But for any couples who are struggling with communicating their vulnerability, like, do you have any advice for them? Because vulnerability is exactly what it is. It makes you vulnerable. You feel weakened by that exposure. So how do you go about using the right type of communication to share your vulnerability? Are there any little strategies or little hacks you want to give any couples today?
I think, you know, the first thing that you need to understand as a couple is that vulnerability is essential for a couple to, or any relationship to thrive.
Yeah.
You know, it builds that intimacy, it builds the trust, it builds closeness between two people. So I think the first step is understanding what vulnerability actually brings to your relationship before you can try and open yourself up to it. And I think just being transparent, you know, a lot of people are scared to open up.
Yes.
There's a fear of being judged in that moment, but it's about pushing through that uncomfortable phase or that uncomfortable feeling. So even if you're going to upset the person, just sit down, have the conversation, say, look, I'm going to share something, no judgment, you can take it how you want it. That is the essence of being vulnerable. And if you're not going to do it, you're never going to know how to go about it. It's never going to be evident in your relationship. And I think also, sorry to cut you off, establishing boundaries as well. So maybe have a keyword and say, okay, best friend, let's have a sit down and speak. So when they hear the word best friend, there's no like riled up. Yeah, it's not tense. It's like, okay, she's going to speak about something important. I need to be open and to hear this.
I find in relationships, it's not best friend. It's your first name. It's not babe.
Yes. Yeah, that's dangerous.
You know, that's it, which is crazy. But just in terms of you two, identifying how you communicate, how did you go about doing that? I know that when you're with somebody, you start learning. But, like, are there any cues that would tell you that, you know, there's a certain way that he communicates and maybe you need to look at that? So without going into, like, the love languages, but, you know, developing that rapport between the two of you, like, what are some of the things that are quite revealing about the way he deals with stuff versus the way you deal with stuff?
I think we're still individual people and we have to remind each other that, like, we're not the same. And because I think it comes from experience from previous relationships also on what not to do in your current relationship. So you learn from experience, you know? So it goes like that, I guess. And what makes it easier is, again, communicating, but in other ways, like going out and spending time with family. it's a crazy thing that family can also resolve the issues without even knowing it.
Also, sometimes it's nice to speak to someone else about it in terms of maybe you just want to chat to a friend or a closer friend that might...
You listen to their issues and it's not so bad. The news is not so bad.
Okay. It's a lot worse off than me.
Yeah, apparently that's the key. You know, I had a comedian tell me the other day the best way to find out that your relationship is fine is just to go out with people who fight. Yeah, the best way to bring you guys together. It's great. There was actually Stuart Taylor that told me that. A lovely guy. Oh, my word. But, okay, we might have more to unpack. And I know that this is a big dynamic topic. So maybe just hang around for a second before we get into any of the other things. But, I mean, with all the stress, it can have a negative impact on your gut health as well, which is one of those things. That little feeling, you know, they say the gut feeling. Sometimes it's more than just a feeling. And I think we need to just explore that for a second.
Now, a perfectly working digestive system is hard to come by. Beyond its traditional role in digestion, the gut has emerged as a focal point of research, revealing its profound impact on our overall well-being. Now, joining us in studio today to tell us more about our gut is one of Future Life's registered dietitians, Bianca Jorneskite. It's so great to have you here, Bianca.
Thank you so much for having me on the show, Zoe.
Oh, well, when it comes to the digestive system, I know it is super complex. Can you unpack the role of our gut and the impact it has on our overall health?
In the recent decade or so, the research around the importance of a healthy gut has moved beyond digestion and absorption of nutrients, and the focus is now really based on its role in supporting our immune system and its role that it has in mental health. Interestingly, about 90% of our serotonin, or our feel-good hormone, is actually found in our gut. Serotonin works as a natural mood stabilizer, really helping with sleeping, eating, and digestion, and has a role in reducing depression and regulating anxiety. Our gut is also our largest immune organ, so a healthy gut is really vital for a strong immune system.
And that's why we would say, always trust your gut.
Yes, exactly.
Now, Bianca, I know that your gut is made up. In fact, it contains good bacteria, bad bacteria. But what is the right bacteria we need to have within our gut?
Okay, Zoe, so now this is where it gets a little bit more complicated, but quite interesting as well. And it might sound a bit strange to have bacteria in your gut, but rest assured, it's completely normal, and a healthy balance of that good and bad bacteria is actually quite beneficial to our overall health. So our gut is home to trillions of bacterial cells, which form a living population known as the gut microbiome. So our gut microbiome is influenced quite a lot by external factors, such as certain medication use, exercise, as well as our diet. So we really want to keep this balance between good bacteria, we want them to thrive and survive, and we want to keep bad bacteria to a minimum so that they don't cause illness.
Now, are there any Future Life products that can help us take care of our gut?
So, of course, there are. So, when we talk about gut health, our main nutrition goal or focus is including enough or reaching our fiber requirements, as well as adding in a probiotic. So, we have our Future Life bran flakes and barley with probiotic capsules, which is the world's first breakfast cereal to combine both fiber and probiotics. It is high in dietary fiber, so it gives us 39% of our daily fiber requirements, while having an added probiotic too. So each box comes with 10 individually packed Hawaii Premium probiotics, which have been scientifically formulated to contain 2 of the most beneficial probiotic strains. So you can take it either as the capsule, or you can open it up and pour it in your bowl of Future Life bran flakes. Alternatively, we also have our Future Life Granola Crunch Vitality, which is made with the goodness of 4 grains, as well as containing some real fruit pieces and berry pieces. It is high in fiber and also contains a baked probiotic inside for a rejuvenating start to the day or an anytime snack.
I love that Future Life is simplifying our health for us. You know, you can pick up any of your favorite products and you get all of the goodness that you need. Now, I know that kids can be quite fussy eaters, and when it comes to them, you also want to make sure they get all the nutrients that they need. So what does Future Life offer that, you know, we can make sure the kids are looked after?
Future Life definitely has something for kiddies too. So we have our Future Life Kids cereal, which is scientifically formulated blend of whole grain oat clusters with multigrain pops and the goodness of our smart food. It is also high in fiber and contains a probiotic, while being high in 13 vitamins and minerals and containing 40% less sugar than the leading children's cereal. It comes in 3 delicious flavors with very cute, relatable characters. And because healthy bellies or happy bellies mean happy children and a great start to their day.
Oh, well, I love that you are giving us a great start to our day. Bianca, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Health and wellness, it all starts with what you eat. For information on Future Life's range of products and recipes, you can visit futurelife.com. And if you're looking to breathe some inspiration into your morning menu, then stay tuned because Bianca is still with us and she's going to show us her favorite fiber-rich breakfast.
I'm getting mine out on the morning light. I feel the need to celebrate and change it, craving new imagination brewing in my mind. I'm getting mine.
Oh, let's fill those bellies. We want something healthy. We want something that's going to go that distance. We are making some beautiful layered vitality jars, and they are amazing from a health perspective, but also flavor-wise, they pack a punch. And then just because it's a Tuesday and we haven't laughed enough already today, let's add another lach of the day. All that and more coming your way on the other side of this.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show. Expresso here in S3, and we still have our expert Karen here. In fact, I kept him here. So there's a couple, Rishka and Camille. I just wanted to make sure that we are unpacking this properly. And if you missed it, the past 2 occasions, we're chatting about vulnerability in a relationship and also around some of the ways your partner can communicate and obviously articulate their feelings to one another when it comes to vulnerability, and also, of course, to avoid taking advantage of vulnerability in a relationship as well. Now, thanks for your comments. I just want to take a peek at this one that you sent over. Thank you. It was a comment that came up from Ursula, and Ursula said, when my kids were little, I used to put them to bed by 8. When they got older, I gave them a book to read. My hubby and I could then spend some quality time together and catch up with the day's happenings. Now, that type of time is vitally important. So for you two, finding the time to be a couple and not just a couple of parents, separating those two, because you are in a relationship. I did mention the chasing earlier. I did, together. So finding that time, how important is it to find that time, and are you trying your best to find enough time to be a couple versus a couple of parents?
I feel like it comes naturally for us, luckily again.
Because you're the perfect couple.
We, every day, basically, put the kids to bed.
Yes.
Try to catch a movie, try to just relax, take a load off.
Yeah.
have that time to speak to each other, catch up. Oh, how was your day? How was your whatever, a shoot, or maybe I had an event on something. So it's very important for us to, as a couple, to understand, oh, look, one or the other had a difficult day, we need to speak about it, we need to understand how we overcome these things on our own, as well as a couple, if you know what I mean.
That's, yeah, because that comment spoke to the fact that like you have to separate somehow. The kids have to go to bed. What happens thereafter? You know, you're not just in the relationship for parenting. You are then it for each other, and you have to show each other that, which is important. So, to our counsellor, you know, let's talk about kids for a second and go to a point where instilling that vulnerability and that openness in your kids. I think this taps into it as well, because remember, the way you argue as a couple, the way you communicate your emotions and your vulnerability essentially has an observation-based effect on your kids and the way they start acting on their own vulnerability. So that particular process, how important is it for parents to be aware of that level of their vulnerability?
I think the important thing is in the heat of the moment, if there is an argument happening, I think it's important to note not to do that in front of your kids.
Yes.
Because then you're teaching them that it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, there's no boundary in between your relationship and then including them into your relationship, you know. Your relationship with them is completely separate, so they shouldn't be involved in your relationship as a couple.
Yeah.
So have the conversation behind closed doors, and, you know, when you've made up, when you've spoken about it, let them see that yes, we might have had an argument, but we also spoke through it. Now we can work together. We treat you no differently. You know, I think it's just about understanding that boundary, the difference between the two relationships.
I like that you said that. I like that you said that there should be a boundary between this relationship as parents and your relationship with your child as a parent, which is a very powerful thing to note, because I think that sometimes within a smaller, closed sort of setting, you know, you want to have it out, you want to vocalize, like the kid's too young to understand. But I think that research shows that kids are emotionally perceptive.
No,
they feel everything in the home.
We have a 9-year-old.
Exactly, you understand, they have that perception. So it's the way you spend time with one another, the way you argue and get through things, showcase your vulnerability, that is going to have an effect on your kids, which is just so powerful. And I mean, are there ways that you two try your best to do that?
We do. So our place is really open. So even if we argue, our kids will see us.
Oh, they will see. There we go. But they would also
But in the same breath, from the beginning, we make it a point that after we do have an argument, he doesn't argue with me, I argue with him. and then he will just hug me. But my little one, our children will see that. And I think they don't feel like we are angry. Because like there's that, and then we can still be okay.
And to the counsellor, do you think that that is something that a child would deem as the resolution was a hug, which perhaps would instill that sort of loving resolution to conflict?
Yes, I think, you know, as humans, we tend to want to storm off or ignore the person for a couple of hours. But I think it's also important to know that your kids are watching you in that moment. And a healthy relationship will decide, okay, for the sake of our kids, even if you must just fake it for that moment, give that hug, give that kiss, so they don't feel unsafe in that space.
Yes.
So yeah, I think it's just about navigating around that and understanding your role as a parent, but also your role as a partner.
I've loved this conversation. Honestly, I have. Next time we're going to get an arguing couple, but this is fine. No, but you two are just such a testament to what it feels like to be a unit, and I want to salute you for that and celebrate you for that. It's been amazing chatting to you.
Thank you.
And to Karen, our counsellor, thanks for all the great pearls of wisdom as well.
Thank you.
We've been very vulnerable today, and we want to say thank you so much for sharing your vulnerability online, and we're going to continue these conversations because we do really, really care about your relationship, especially here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Stick with us.
We all know that the morning madness is real, and trying to find a quick and healthy breakfast option is always a struggle. But today we are adding a new favorite to our menu, and we are making a granola crunch vitality layer jar that is an easy and super delicious. And here to show us how to make this is Bianca J, a registered dietitian from Future Life. Bianca, I love learning new and easy recipes to really just make life exciting. Working on Expresso means we're always exposed to all kinds of yummy treats, but it's so good to have a good breakfast to start off the day. So talk to me about these delicious Vitality jars that we are making. What are the different layers?
So we have different layers in our Vitality jar. We can pre-make them the night before, like you said, then you can just grab and go the next morning, especially if you're rushed and busy. So we are going to start off with the first layer, which is our Future Life Granola Crunch Vitality, which is high in fiber, and it has a baked probiotic inside.
Okay.
So we can just do...
And we want to create multiple layers.
Yes.
So we'll just go for a small little layer. Look at that. I think we can add maybe a little bit more crunch.
Can. It's got a nice amount of bananas and berries and things in there. Our next layer will be our low-fat plain yogurt, which is a natural source of probiotics too. So we have a little bit of extra probiotics inside. And I don't know if you want to cut some strawberries in the meantime while I layer my jar with the yogurt.
I love that we get to add all of these different layers. I know there are quite a few families that struggle to get the kids to eat breakfast. Perhaps the individuals like me have a morning routine that's not pretty much like your typical normal routine. How important is it for us to start our day off with a good breakfast?
So a good breakfast really sets the tone for the rest of the day. Having sufficient fiber and some micronutrients. So the strawberries have some added vitamin C inside. The blueberries are rich in antioxidants. Really just gives us that great start to the day.
We do want that great start. Can we play up with the flavor profiles? Is there any ways we can maybe customize it? Because, you know, often if you're going to be meal prepping and you eat the same thing every single day, you can get a little bit fatigue or you get a little bit over it. How would you change things up?
Of course, we can change things up. I'm very pro using what we have available in our households. So if today we have a lot of papaya, we can use some papaya in these granola jars. It also really works off of the dried fruit inside the Granola Crunch Vitality. We can use some coconut yogurt too, because there are some real coconut flakes inside here. I love, at the end of the week, if I have too many fruits or apples left over, instead of letting it go off, I like to just stew it in a little bit of water and lemon juice, and then you can definitely use that inside your jar too, and then there's no wasting.
Oh, I love that. And we can even just keep the blueberries whole and add a few to the top. Look at that. Pretty amazing. Now, I love Future Life's Vitality because you said it has got extra fiber and probiotics. Can you just reiterate what makes this so special and unique?
So we have a baked probiotic inside the product. It's also got that nice crunchy granola inside for that morning crunch, and then it also boasts that high fiber breakfast kickstart to the day.
Oh, well, Bianca, thank you for showing us this delicious and easy recipe. And if you want to get your hands on this Granola Crunch Vitality jar, it is available at futurelife.com. And if you've missed any of the steps, here's a quick recap for you.
Coming up in the Feel Good Breakfast Show, I have this particular performer doing things for you. And I mean, just give me an echo here if you don't mind. So we got Lach of the Day coming up. Ooh, I like that. And we also have Perfect Fifth performing Maxwell's song. Which song?
That will be Ascension.
I want to hear Ascension. Give me some falsetto.
Ascension.
Thank you. If you want to hear more of that, you should stick around to Feel Good Breakfast Show. I'm going to learn how to sing like that in the break.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Okay, don't panic. Just stand still, okay? There's something on my head, okay? You might remember a few years ago we had the Ice Bucket Challenge. Well, the latest challenge on the streets is the I Trust My Wife Challenge, okay? I do trust my wife, but first take a look at this.
I Trust My Wife Challenge.
I trust my wife.
Trust my wife. You scared the mess out of it. You scared the mess out of it.
I trust my wife.
Oh, gosh. All right. I trust my wife.
Your work? Am I your work wife?
You are.
You trust me?
I'm taking my gap while I can. I trust my wife.
No, okay.
I'm giving you a little bit of... Don't ask Zoe why I'm lowering myself.
Okay.
I trust my wife. Oh, wow. My haircut looks good as well. Hey, I do trust my wife.
Trust me, see?
I can trust
trust
my
each
wife,
other.
man.
Always.
Oh, well, you can trust in one thing. If their performances so far have blown you away, you can trust that this next performance is going to take this morning to another level. They are perfect, and there are 5 of them now.
Yes, there is. And listen, that moment of trust was supposed to happen with a belt, not a stick. Let me just say that. But we are going to close off the show with a high. It's been incredible to have the local band Perfect Fifth SA on your Feel Good Breakfast show, and they're ready to perform one last song. Before we get into that song, David, what has it been like for you to be able to collaborate with a talented artist like Z, and are there any other hopefuls you would love to collaborate with?
Yes, of course, and let me first start off by saying amazing to work with Z. Z has been amazing to work with. Her sound, her voice has been awesome. There are artists that I want to mention that we want to work with. Not making any promises though. But
universe.
Okay, I'm just gonna throw in there. Jane is one of the people that we're looking forward to working with, and yeah, I'm not gonna say anymore. I don't wanna put myself on that spot.
Oh, how can people stay in touch with Perfect Fifth to make sure we are up to date with any breaking news or activities or concerts you've got going on, so that we can support you to the fullest?
Yes, of course. You can follow us on the socials on Instagram. It's perfect_fifth SA, and we also have our record label page, which is Perfect Fifth Records. Yeah, that's on Instagram, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here on your Feel Good Breakfast show is Perfect Fifth SA with Maxwell's Ascension.
When we were in fear, 'cause you were a dream that you should not have been, a fantasy real. You give me this beating, baby, this rhythm inside, 'cause you make me feel good and feel nice and feel love. Give me paradise, hey. So shouldn't I realize you're the highest of the high? And if you don't know, then I'll say it, so don't ever wonder. Hey. Shouldn't I realize
amazing. Take a bow, gentlemen. I don't know where Z is, but take a curtsy wherever you are. What an opportunity to see the chemistry at play, the talent involved. Absolutely amazing, but they're just absolutely wonderful people. So thank you for being that this morning. We love you.
There we go.
We love you guys. You are
I want to have them play at
perfect.
my wedding.
Go out there right here. We can facilitate that discussion right now. In fact, we can make it happen. But what a great show. I feel a lot better about being the vulnerable, emotional mess that I am most days. But that very much speaks to the people I have around me. So maybe that can be a guiding thought today. Just think of the people around you and how you can be better for them. Be some more supportive for them. Maybe be a little bit more vulnerable for them so you can show them the way. But what a pleasure, guys. Great
What an
day
incredible show. We've made peace, right?
Yeah, we've made peace
made
from the
peace
beginning
from
when
the
you
rest
didn't
of the
greet
show.
me. We made peace with our gut, with gut health.
Yes.
Peace with vulnerability. We made peace with a lot of things. We're ready.
We're at peace. We're ready for the rest of our Tuesday, and we hope you are too.
I'm still the third wheel, though. I think I still feel like the third
stand in
wheel,
the
even though I
middle.
trust
Stand
my
in the middle.
my
We're
work
the-
wife. Oh man, there is trust. We love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Mwah. Adios. Thank you, Perfect Fit. You're amazing. You guys were brilliant. Well done, sir.
Thank you.
Right? Can you play Zoe's wedding?
Another feel